We back at it again. Happy Sabbath day, guys. Sunday.
Happy Saturday.
Sunday. Right?
Sunday.
Something like that.
The Lord's
I mean,
Day.
I think
Lord's Day.
I think your mind is like on last podcast.
A little bit, but thank you guys for coming back.
Yeah, thank you too.
Raw Refined Podcast, second episode. Let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
Kanye West. That is the topic today. That is what is going on in the media. That is what is going on in society. That's kind of the buzz around everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, what is everyone's perspective? Zach, go ahead first. What do you think?
I'm a fan of Kanye West. And I'm a fan of his work. And I believe this man is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Why?
But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like, you need some people around you to hold you, to ground you. And
How is he grounded?
I feel like he's very isolated right now.
No, you put that dude on a pedestal, my guy. Like, why?
A pedestal. Whoa.
Let him get his shit off.
First and foremost, let me get this out the way.
Okay.
All y'all who are disrespecting Kanye, like as if, okay, I understand what he's saying, what he's talking about right now, but like you can't disregard this man is a genius. The work that this man has put into this, he changed the game.
Here we go.
This man has
Here we go
changed the
again,
game.
Red.
And I will stand by it. I'm a fan. All right, I say what I
He's
say.
gonna say that narrative all the
I
time.
was 10 toes down, Kanye.
Oh, you staying with
I'm still with it, nigga.
He's
I'm
still
still
with
with it.
Kanye.
A lot of the fans have switched up. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, dude,
look.
this man's bank account has been frozen. I mean, over the past month, it's been kind of a treachery with him as far as how much he's been censored and how much his financial situation has changed.
Are you calling this man a brokey?
Or broke?
No, I'm not calling him broke. He's still going to make money, but I think because of the publicity, it's probably hurting a little bit of his profits right now because you have people, dude, I just saw on Instagram Reels yesterday, some guy in Europe, I don't know what country in Europe, but or what area of Europe, rather, he literally burned all of his Yeezys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was like, dude, like, and he actually said by the time he burned everything, he was like, yeah, this is Yeezy's future outcome as far as his business and shit.
That don't mean
That's what he said.
mean
That's what he said.
That's a publicity stunt.
They burned LeBron James jersey too. What he do? He won 3 chips. So what?
He went the chip 3 times. A chip 3 times.
One thing I will say is this man knows how to stay in the mix. He knows how to stay in people's fucking mouths, like for real.
Well,
he knows how to stay.
But do you guys still?
That's a talent, bro.
Do you guys still believe that he's still on the strings? Like somebody's like behind.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, he's
But
still.
you can argue me all you want. But I say fuck yes.
Yeah, he's on the strings.
obvious.
Somebody's controlling his world pretty much. So he's.
It's obvious to me.
It's obvious. Like he has a handler
Somebody's controlling
with
his
his,
world.
which is
I
yeah.
think that if you give somebody enough rope, eventually they hang themselves with it. And I feel like that's what's going on right here.
He's
Like,
hanging himself with that rope.
This is amazing. Like, dude, he's getting people's attention though. Like,
Yeah, I know. I mean,
God.
I could give him that. I could give him that.
you don't think it's a PR?
I could give him that, bro.
stunt? You don't think yet?
No, because who?
It is a PR stunt.
No.
All publicity is good publicity, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it
I
could be
feel like
positive
he's doing
and
this
good at the
on-
same time.
Yeah, I feel like he's doing this on his own. I don't think anybody's backing him on this.
This is
man.
crazy,
No.
bro.
Would you co-sign this behavior?
I don't co-sign him
If we're talking
anything
about
what he
entertainment,
says.
if we're talking about entertainment,
I mean, it's
fuck
entertaining.
yes. Fuck yes.
But like, okay, I see.
Fuck yes.
I don't know. I guess 6ix9ine just effed up the game for everybody. X169.
I think there's been clowns and shit. I don't think that's nothing new.
To the trolling? To the
okay, bro.
trolling to this level?
Man,
Alright,
I don't-
Trolling, or is he serious?
Red. Wait, when you look at this fool right here, like, does he look like a clown? Does he look like a clown to you? Does he look like a clown?
no. He looks
Yes.
like a calculated man.
Calculated
man.
This was
So-
one of the richest black people. What do you mean?
Oh yeah, no.
Ever.
Because you got to realize too that he's on the same. Well, he's almost basically on the same level as Warren Buffett and some of these guys like Bill Gates because he's in that billionaire club, right?
Well,
Like,
I-
he was.
well, I'm about to
I don't know what he is
rebuttal that.
now.
Well, he's
I'm
not
about to
like
rebuttal-
the billionaire
Like he
club.
said, Forbes keeps like messing up with his profit earnings every year to date. They keep saying that he's making less and less every year. But yeah, I think that Kanye is still a well reputable dude.
Yeah.
I think that right now there's kind of like a mental health factor because at least for the
He
most
does have
part, a lot of
mental
people
health,
out there today are saying, hey, this is what happens when you don't take your medication, if you will.
You know,
Some people,
ago.
I know they're saying a lot of the same thing they were saying years ago, but that's kind of the narrative.
Kyle, like, you know, like what I think about Kanye.
What's that?
He's like one of those like jealous type, narcissistic like individual who wants to get full control of like his trophy wife, right? His trophy wife, right? And like just manipulate.
Well, who is his trophy wife?
Like
he doesn't have a wife.
I know. So like,
oh, they divorced?
They divorced.
Yeah, I know that they have custody and all that different type of stuff, but yeah, for what I know is they're divorced now.
I just don't trust him, bro.
On Twitter, he said that Chris Paul fucked his bitch. Fucked his wife.
Well, no, he didn't say that, but it was implied.
Nigga, come on. What did he mean,
it was
bro?
implied. But I don't know.
I found this dude with Kim. What does that mean?
All the Ray J.
Kim's fucking and sucking.
But all the Ray J. Archive say this.
No, okay, but let me ask you this then. If he found Chris Paul with Kim, what did he do? Did he just not say nothing, or did he go in with her? Did he go in there with Chris Paul and they handle business?
I think these niggas is cap.
All cap, man.
I think these niggas is cap. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
Oh,
One
man.
thing I will say though, speaking on his point, I forgot what he said, but it triggered
He's just
something.
a narcissist person,
That's
bro.
not what I was saying. I'm saying
Okay, my bad.
one time,
My bad.
I forgot what interview it was, but he was speaking on the glass ceiling, and he was telling us that it had nothing to do with money. You know, they just won't let him in any doors. It doesn't matter his influence, his money, his fame. It does not matter. At some point, when you get to a certain level, it's not about none of that. It's about you're a fucking peasant, bro. Like it does not matter about the money.
Yeah.
Like those, you talking about Warren Buffett and
Bill Gates.
you saying he's on the same level, but he's not.
Yeah.
No, but as far as the money aspect, once you're in that billionaire kind of space, even if you make 1 or 2 billion, you can perpetuate yourself into that, or at least in my opinion, you can kind of get in rooms with people like that. Doesn't mean you have as much net worth or as much power as they do because they're making billions more than you. If your net worth is only 1 or 2 billion, however, you have a better chance of talking to them about making some kind of impact on the world, etc., than if you're only making 10 million a year.
I
see what I'm saying?
I
I agree. But also
But with him, he's not really getting those chances.
So like,
unfortunately.
you think like in those social classes, like in those rooms, like I kind of like just excommunicated him and just like counseled him.
Yeah.
I think it's already happened, man.
It's already
Like
happened,
I think it's already happened for several months now, and it's gotten worse. And then obviously, we'll show any of the viewers some of the kind of reactions we want to do to these videos of the interviews that he's had and kind of deep dive into that. But I think for the most part, he after this thing with Alex Jones leaving the Tim Pool podcast, like all these things within the past few weeks have only showed that he's losing credibility with other people who have money around the world because of some of the statements that he's making.
There's a difference between being rich and wealthy. And I think wealthy speaks to your community and your culture. I don't think
all about the culture.
No offense, niggas are allowed at that door because we don't have a powerhouse.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's not even about race. It's about respect.
Yeah,
and we're not really respectable.
Like
and I think that even speaks to what he did on Alex Jones. I mean to segue into it, but I think that was a minstrel show. If I ever seen one.
So like
I think he was mocking the Jewish community.
Yeah. So like
I was thinking he was mocking the public as well, because the public think let's be real, guys. I don't think we know all the facts.
We don't know
what happened with Hitler, who Hitler is, what the Holocaust. I'm not trying to. I don't know. I feel like I've been lied to so many times that I think there's more information to be said. And I think he's aware of some of the information and the truth, and he plays around with it. That's one of my quarrels with Kanye. He doesn't spit it out. He doesn't tell you the truth. He doesn't give you the full picture. He kind of just walking a tightrope. It's almost like he's like he's scared to say the truth.
Yeah,
but he wants so bad to sit at these tables. Like why he's like, but they're not welcoming him at the tables.
That's how we think the game should be played. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
What's the point of this game? We're supposed to get to the top. Sit at those tables and be able to make moves. They won't let him at the tables.
I mean, he's going to the table, but what are you bringing of value in the table? Like, what dish are you bringing to the table, man?
I saw this.
Well, okay, look, because like y'all keep asking those questions, but are y'all paying attention?
I am paying attention,
man.
Go in, Zach. Tell him, Z-Ross.
Okay.
Are you paying attention to Kanye West? Because you have to change. You have to realize, like, first and foremost, right? What he's saying, he's already bringing up topics that are already controversial, right?
Yeah.
But not only that, but like think about the whole Donda project that he dropped right there, right? And he bringing awareness to the Hoover family, right?
Hoover family,
Hoover, who's been unjustly still locked up. You
Well,
know
so
what
that's
I'm
a
saying?
positive.
And you're asking,
Yeah.
like, what is he
That's a
bringing to
good.
the culture? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to bring somebody out, get
Okay.
somebody out of jail. You know,
I feel
somebody
you.
who was a strong leader in the community. But listen, like, it's unfortunate that how Hoover. I mean, if you knew the whole disciples thing, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't supposed to be what it turned out to be. It wasn't supposed to be all gangsta out. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like a solidified like version of us. Like it was another protection, if you want to call it. Like, you know what I mean? For the people.
For the people.
But then it got misconstrued. It got turned up. And people got selfish, and it effed up. And Hoover was just the face of that. And he took all the head of that, you know, so he got locked up. He's still locked up for that, you know what I'm saying?
So
and it's like now that we move forward in the culture, you know what I'm saying? Some of these people are disciples, but they don't even affiliate. They don't
affiliate in with those things. Okay.
They actually give it back to the community.
But my thing
in these places where they don't have anything. You know what I'm saying? So Kanye West he's trying to, you know, do something. Kanye West has never been a selfish person.
I know he hasn't been selfish. I see in his heart, but like,
so like I can't sit
I just
have you like.
I just feel like I'm not shitting on men's. I'm not shitting on men's, man. I just
give credit where credit is due.
I mean,
wait a minute.
You want me to give him flowers? Flowers for what?
For his work.
I mean, I'll give him his flowers, but what has he done for the culture, though?
Listen.
Get him, Christian.
Niggas in Paris.
I think he's done a lot,
dude.
dude.
You ever seen a nigga in Paris? What you even knew about niggas in Paris, bro?
Man, you get
the
missing the song.
Oh my
goodness! What I'm
goodness.
saying though, right? Like you gotta listen. Like
Okay, I feel you, but I'm listening.
The game.
I know how to get the people going.
Not only was
I don't know how to get people going though. Yeah.
He sure does though, for real.
All right, I don't know. See, I'm talking to.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, I finished your thought. I'm listening. I'm listening.
My nigga,
I'm talking to the birds.
I agree with your point.
I agree with you.
Because look, listen,
Go ahead.
y'all. This man is a genius. This man was a college dropout, right? Not only was he a college dropout, but he got his degrees. You know what I'm saying, in art, man. You know what I'm saying. Not only that, but how could a man who's a rapper infiltrate the fashion game like he did?
Oh, absolutely.
Doing that.
Okay,
Dude, I love Kanye still, bro. Don't get me wrong. I don't care what the media
You wear
says.
his bummy ass clothes.
Bummy ass clothes, and he look like a homeless, bro.
It's not about the clothes. I'm talking about like the levels.
The creativity.
I mean, I respect the art though, the art process.
Where did he reach? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hold on.
I feel like you guys are discrediting him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at all the controversy that this man has gone through. The whole Taylor Swift, right? After the Taylor Swift, what did he come back and do?
Oh, you
He
like
dropped one of the
chaos like that,
hardest
brother, huh?
albums ever, the Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then
Amazing projects.
Exactly.
Amazing
Right after
Stick to music.
Like, put the work in. Like, this man.
I'm not discrediting
what did he
that.
have? Like over 24,000? I don't know. We have to fact check it, but working hours on that freaking.
I think your fries are ready.
I think your fries are
ready, bro. But that's
Cooking,
like,
bro. You cooking.
But you are cooking in the chef in the kitchen right now.
Well, going on Zach's point.
But like, I just don't with the work.
Sorry about the alarm in the background.
No,
we will,
ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
natural.
Raw refined, baby.
Raw refined.
At its finest.
Everything is raw up in this joint, in this cut.
But going back to what Zach was saying, I personally believe that celebrities are there not only to distract us, but I believe they're mocking us for not knowing much. I believe they're jesters in this time and age. I think jesters are for the
people for entertainment.
Since the beginning of time, they've been above. There's levels to this shit, and they've been above the peasants, and they know more information. The higher you go in this pyramid, the more information you know. And I feel like
I think people like idol them as
literally
as gods, but like, what if like they're false prophets? You know, so I don't want to like confuse Like
I think they're mocking us for
they're
not
mocking
knowing
at
shit.
for
I
that
think they
too.
mock
Yeah.
us for being ignorant, for going down a certain path. I think they mock us. I think
They do
it's
mock
a minstrel
us,
show.
bro.
And
Personally.
who would you say is they?
The people in behind the machine.
Celebrity.
The celebrities,
I
the
believe
people,
they're-
the
they- of
handlers.
course, I have no clue who's at the top. I can't. Speak on that.
I can't speak on that either, Kyle.
But I feel like they're going in a direction that doesn't benefit us. whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So like it creates
And
a lot of confusion and like and it does create a lot of confusion. And then like, I mean, how you want me to give you your flowers, but like, how can I give you your flowers? What good is it like beneficial to you? But like, what have you done to like give like positivity, spread love and positivity in our light, bro? You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
I mean, I think Kanye personally has done some really positive things, like between his music and think about it, he created jobs for people. He built a business off his own back, dude, with all of the other things, kind of those roadblocks that he's had along the way. Up until this point, I just think that he predicted it, almost his own future, because like we'll show some of the viewers later, like in 2013, he was on the Breakfast Club saying that, you know, right now I'm relevant. Right now you guys like me, you feel me. But then in 2023, that's going to be basically my demise. And he doesn't say it exactly like that, but he basically says, hey, that's going to be my demise. And then coincidentally, right, you have in 2012, No Church in the Wild. That whole thing is basically talking about fighting the system, evilness, and other different types of things that they discuss in there through the music. And then, you know, now you have all these interviews that are coming out between Tim Pool, Lex Friedman, now InfoWars with Alex Jones. I mean, he kind of, I think, like, I don't know if it's planned or if this just happened by cause, because he even says, like, look, I'm already 10 years ahead of everybody, but I'm stuck in this time. That's what he said on the 2013
so he's stuck
podcast.
in the past.
That's
That speaks
true.
to my
So
point that I said.
he's not.
Yeah.
These people are ahead of the
Before you guys
game.
go further, I gotta say something because I was in the kitchen.
Okay.
And I don't like what Christian was saying. You
What?
know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
Because Kanye West, you gotta be real, bro. If it wasn't for Kanye West, was the realest one in the game. Kanye West was the one who, when it all falls down,
When the things all
when
falls
it all
down.
falls down, Kanye West was the only artist to be real. He
Okay.
wasn't faking it. When it was all gangster time.
No, how you know that?
No, but look, in the man, like, okay, look, if you guys are just stuck in a world where you're distancing yourself
I love
from these celebrities, you know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
idolize
Like, that
them.
world is not too far fetched. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because they're in that space doesn't mean that whole space is fake.
I think they run.
You know what I'm saying?
They
'Cause
run
then
shit
I feel
on
like you're not
things.
giving yourself enough credit, because what if you get
But I'm
those
open
right
to
there?
it. I'm open to it, bro.
You don't know, but you don't know that.
I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand. There's a bunch of context clues. You guys are gonna call me a conspiracy? Sure, I'll be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really care.
Get in your
that is
conspiracy
very
bag.
Well,
Get in your conspiracy bag.
Listen to
Got
me.
you.
I believe these people are farmed. I don't think you can get on without being farm raised.
Yeah.
I think you can trace
Plants in the
every
soil.
single celebrity, every single artist back to being, even some athletes, back to being farmed.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by farm?
Like conditioned?
Conditioned. That's
Very
social-
conditioned,
Yeah.
being ready to be on the big screen. You can't just say anything on there. You have to be heard the term
censored,
media
bro.
trained.
Yeah,
Heard the
yeah,
term
yeah.
Media
Media
okay,
trained, yeah.
That's like a very light term of what that is.
That's what's going on, bro.
People speak of MK Ultra. I'm not even gonna get into that, but there's facts. But I personally believe Kanye West
Social media
comes
train.
from that. He comes from a farm.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. See if that's what you're thinking. So
Tupac,
so
same.
you-
Tupac, the same thing.
You're willing to tell me to discredit everything that all that work that he put in.
Never.
What-
Never,
Hold on,
never.
Hold on. Hear me out. You're telling me that all the work that man put out in the hours producing. You know what I'm saying, for all these people, like wanting to be a rapper, but only thing he could do is produce all the hours, all that work, all the drive and shit, all that time, all the sacrifices that this man had to do, take out of his life just to pursue his dreams, you know what I'm saying? And Also, when he went in that car crash, almost risked his life, came back and spit the bars like
come back the same.
Did he came back? His brain came back the same though.
You know what I'm saying? And to discredit him, to say that the industry planted this nigga and he didn't work for nothing that he got, I think that blows my mind.
Oh no, man!
It's like saying that LeBron James got to his spot because they saw him as a kid and he was industry planted.
Yeah,
like nigga, that nigga put the work in.
I know he did put the work. I'm not
these people for being in the position that they were put in.
That's a good
it's
point.
The 1%.
That's a good point. That's
Y'all
1%.
want to talk about these niggas is different. This is the 1% because they're not like us.
Right.
There's something that they have that we don't have because that's what puts them in that light. And not all the time. I'm not saying that every famous person has put work in to be famous. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. But you gotta give credit where credit is due, my nigga. Like these niggas is not in this position.
I can see like
because of, like
all these people are emerging out of the woodworks. Like
Shit,
you got
flowing.
all these
Here we
people,
go.
I feel like all these people are flowing like
Round Refined podcast.
all these people are flowing out of the woodworks. Like you got Kyrie, like he's speaking the truth too. And then like what's that nigga doing? Like he's not, because like he's believing in his truth. But at least like he's not playing basketball right now. So like
He is.
He's still balling.
He is. He went right back.
He went back.
He's still balling.
No, but he's still like fighting his handlers and shit, you know, because like the handler paid the bills, right, and the lights.
Well, it's not more of like, it's more of like he's expressing himself.
Yeah.
And now in this era, it's like it's weird for anybody to express himself because before
it is weird,
we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have these platforms where you can communicate straight to your fans. It was either, if you want to know how that person feels, you would have to you can only get it from what the media gives you, which would be the interviews where they have the people sitting in the crowd setting up questions, delivering these questions, and you have to answer them a certain way. So you don't get this interaction.
Yeah.
And people don't get to express themselves
That experience,
how they are now. And now it's like it's controversial because it's new, you know what I'm saying? And people are like, well, stop worrying about that shit, just worry about the game. But like, you know, it's a mental thing too.
It's
like,
a mental thing.
These are real people. These are just these are human beings.
I know these are human beings.
These ain't just slaves on a boat.
Mm-hmm. You're right, brother.
We're all slaves.
We're all slaves.
We're all slaves until we get to the 1%.
You'll never get to the 1%. I promise you. You won't. I promise you.
With that
won't.
mindset, you won't.
But I will say this: you can shoot for the stars and land on the cloud. I think you should be a self-made millionaire instead of like. You see how they took away Kanye's shit like that?
Okay.
Shut the fuck up. Okay. It's not his. His fame is not his.
Well, if you could even get in the top 10, at least 10%, you probably have a better chance.
You could probably get in there,
and make a few
Squeeze a little bit in there.
But getting into that billionaire status, like, dude, you got to be
who run the world.
Yeah, bro.
Billionaire status, run the world, bro.
Because
it's not about money at that point.
Y'all are discrediting him, right? But he got to that step.
He did not get to that.
He did not get to that.
He was.
His handlers got him there.
He got to the gates of heaven and kicked him right the fuck down.
Calm down.
I know, but I understand that because he got. But that's the thing, though. When it comes down, like, even if you. I don't know if you guys are fans. Maybe some of y'all. Andrew Tate, you know, he says that it's the network. It's the people that you surround yourself with. That's how you get hired. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter whatever it is that you feel like. If you can make yourself valuable to them, if they can see you as a commodity of value, then you're putting work in. You know what I'm saying? And I understand.
Well, wait a minute. Then would you say is Impulsive a commodity then?
What do you mean? Like the
Impulsive podcast? Yeah. Because they say some really cool stuff at times, but a lot of people, their perspective is that, you know, and Andrew Tate, again, bringing him up, he said on PBD podcast that, you know, Logan and Impulsive and all those people are conditioned. Like, they're all told what to say because they have different people coming to them, paying them to say X, Y, Z.
Yeah, the
But if you look back before that started happening, how was their podcast before that? It was more organic, I think, and better verse. Now it just seems like more commercial.
Well,
everything's commercial.
You gotta think about it like this, though, too, right?
So did that add a commodity, or did that add value, or did that just become value to the corporations, but not them themselves? Yes. So you got to separate the two.
But I think both. I think I think it becomes a commodity because you when you get to a certain level and then you start bringing in money, like when you have endorsements, you don't really, like you say, you end up becoming a slave to that because now they're paying you, right? They're paying you, and so some
you
of the
have
things
to work.
You have to like
self-made. Boy.
You have to what's the word, like you have to please them at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to make sure that, like, because they're representing you, you know what I'm saying? And anything that's attached to you, you know what I'm saying? You have more money. If you say something like Kanye West is something controversial and the public doesn't like it, you know what I'm saying? We're in the cancel culture, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you'll get canceled. So right now, I feel like they just, you know, I'm not saying that it's good, you know what I'm saying? I'm not siding with it, but I understand why they would do that, why they would, like, you know, try to, like, tight niche their stuff up or clean it up, you know what I'm saying? Make it look presentable, because they're trying to push it obviously to the masses, you know what I'm saying? And there's certain ways you have to go to get it to the masses.
And I can respect that to a degree, but I just don't want it to become where, you know, it's like, okay, well, one thing that you kind of tighten up with becomes the next thing that becomes more tight, and then it just starts going down this path. Yeah. So it's like, dude, like if you give them a mile, dude, they're gonna go with you twain. They're gonna go with you 2 times. You know, like 2 miles. So I mean, I just hope that they don't. And a lot of the things that they say are still kind of free flowing, just as an example. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, is there more of a commercial look to these podcasts now? Or is there more just like raw, uncut, just be organic?
Like how we are right now.
But that's the thing is, like you said, you can't really do that if they're going to supply you with some kind of monetary value.
In the censorship.
Because kind of thing.
You also have to, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
You also have to think about it too, like, their fame doesn't derive from their podcast. You know, his fame was
from his music,
getting people's attention.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So that's his normal thing that he's always been doing. So I feel like he would take that to whatever he does, like in boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They do those press conferences. They act a fool on purpose. There's no you can't tell me that those fools will act like that in a real life conference, like in a real altercation.
It's a show.
It's a show, bro.
It's a show.
It's a show, man.
Yeah, because they understand it's gonna draw
and that's a commodity for you.
It's a commodity for them.
No, and I look. Everybody disses them. Like, everybody talks shit about them, but they're the ones on their game, right?
They are on the game. Yeah.
That's why, even if I disagree with some of the shit that they're talking about, just how they got there, I can respect. Man. Like, I can respect Impulsive for getting to where they got. But some of the shit that they spew, I'm sorry, I can't. Andrew Tate was right. He's calling out Logan Paul, saying, hey, this guy reads from, like, you know, an iPhone script.
A script.
And, dude, what happens? The fucking video comes out, and the dude has an iPhone right in front, and he's reading it.
Oh, man.
So, bro, he just proved the point. So I feel like, hey, if you should memorize lines rather than, you know, like, fucking reading, because, dude, it just makes it doesn't look organic.
Like,
you know,
it doesn't come from him naturally. Yeah.
That's my opinion.
But remember when Jake Paul, he went to Asia or something.
Yeah.
And then he saw that dude that committed suicide.
Yeah.
And he got canceled for that. The dude was begging like a bitch for his channel back.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. He's controlled.
Shit.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to beg for man for anything. Yeah. Bro, it's written, man. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. At a certain point of influence, it's social engineering. You are social engineering.
And that's kind of your argument earlier about the Kanye thing, that he's following down that road because what he started off to be was what he wanted, but now it's become what they wanted. What they want, right? Sort of.
Yeah. I think it's predicted. That music video you're showing.
Yeah.
I think it's predictive programming.
Programming.
It sounds like the same thing when I think about Tupac, and he calls himself Machiavelli, and Machiavelli was known to fake his death. Supposedly, there's word that Tupac is somewhere in Cuba.
But then, and I don't think he is. But I think it created that atmosphere of marketing to make people think that, hey, he's over here because of the marketing and the labeling that what was the label he was under again? Death Row.
Death Row.
So Death Row, you know, Suge Knight, they probably, a marketing strategy was like, oh, well, we're gonna put this to make it seem like you died in the event that you do get killed, because we know at that time in the 90s he was a very controversial figure. Similar to how Kanye is, but I think he was more controversial than Kanye. But and then the dude got killed. But now you could paint that picture because beforehand they created already a marketing strategy to make people believe like, oh, there were sightings of him over in Cuba, and this guy over here said that he's over there, and his mom is living over there secretly, and they're living together. Like, so it's to keep the whole thing going.
Keep the narrative.
But it's also a marketing thing because it keeps his name alive, keeps the brand alive, and keeps the sales coming in.
These people, you keep on running into my point. You guys keep running into my point. These guys don't own their lives. Your life is what I say it is.
Right.
That's selling your soul.
We selling our soul right here in them.
I mean, I feel like, okay, let me say this. I feel like, first and foremost, you can sell your soul regardless of anything.
We're selling our soul.
We're selling our soul right now.
Going to job.
Whoa. Speak for yourself, brother. Speak for yourself.
Speak
for yourself.
Bro, they tell you how much you're worth per hour.
True.
Every day,
based on your job.
With that job.
But look, here's the difference.
Your time.
Though. No. Here's the difference. It's because I choose to wake up and I go to that job. I don't
That's
have
true.
to.
That's a good point of view.
It's constricting me. I chose to do this.
I believe that. Yeah, I respect.
But do you know you're selling yourself though?
Are you selling yourself?
Are you selling your energy?
Your energy? Your
Come on,
time?
man.
I'm gonna tell you this because like the way that you think about that, I get it, but at the same time, this is how a fucking society is, my nigga. I'm living in a society, and you have to abide.
You have
by
to
the
give
rules
something,
of the
You have to
society
give something, bro.
to live in the society.
Come on, parrot.
Wait,
Go ahead, my bad.
No.
My bad.
But what I'm saying, like, say for instance, right? If I didn't live in this country, my life would be different.
Very true.
You know
Oh,
what
very
I'm saying?
true.
That wouldn't
That's
be.
true.
But in this society, I have to play the games of this society to thrive in this environment.
But,
if I don't play
brother,
the games in this environment, I'm not gonna survive.
brother,
if I
gotta
don't have
play
a
the
job,
game.
if I don't have money, if I don't have this coming in, I can't live the life I don't
But
want. I can't get food.
do you feel like you have solitude with
Heard a bunch
yourself?
of excuses.
I do.
You have solitude with yourself, though.
I do have.
Yeah, you have
solitude.
peace with
You
yourself.
know, and you know why? You know why? Because I make time for my own solitude. I make time for my peace.
I could respect
Because
that.
Just because I go out and work, that's not my whole life. When I get off of work, it's me. I get to do whatever I want.
Because
You know what I'm
like
So I'm
Nigga,
finding
you have to
time
be
from
to work tomorrow, nigga. You're not
Yeah.
going nowhere. Where you going?
where you going?
So-
You gotta go be at work
Be at
tomorrow.
work.
Actually, I'm off. But I actually,
He's
I see what
off.
you're saying. Okay, so I have to go to work.
Are you going to
So-
Paris right now, nigga? No,
Okay,
you can't.
But look, though, listen. Though.
Seeing the world.
That's what I'm saying. It's a choice. Because I don't have to go to work.
But you just
tomorrow.
defaulting.
But if I want
Very
money,
true.
if I want to do what the fuck I want to do,
Yeah, I
need
feel you.
money. And how do I get money? I got to go to work.
Doing this, we could be making money.
That's
We're working
facts.
right
That's
now.
fact.
But exactly,
That's
nigga, we're
fact.
working.
We're building
working
something.
right now.
We're building
This is
something
a
to get the
job
fuck
right
out.
But
now.
I don't have to do this either.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
have to sit here.
You
I
saying
don't
you
have
still
to
has
make
free
my
will.
life.
You
Exactly.
do have free will
You
still.
do have free will.
Yes.
But you gotta give some to make some, no?
That's with everything. You have to give to get something. It
But
doesn't
are
matter
we
in
saying-
relationships.
I'm not-
in
That's all I
anything.
said.
That's all I said.
You like I said
Yeah,
something.
knocking me on that?
No, I'm just explaining this.
What's up with you? What's up with Christian?
He's knocking me
bro?
out. It's like, bro, like.
Is there an echo in this motherfucker?
I'm sorry, just the raw and defined, bro. Raw and defined, raw and cut,
Raw refined.
raw refined. My bad, my bad. But
Yes,
like,
we are raw defined.
yeah.
Okay. Let's bring
get
it
to this shit.
Let's bring it back, dude. We don't want to we don't want to put everybody to sleep right now. But
Yeah, I'm sorry.
well, but we were having really good conversations about
That was
this
amazing.
because again, it's the reality of what's kind of going on with Kanye and how there's other circumstances and other people that are in similar spots, but Kanye's just been the first to kind of speak out, trying to kind of talk about, getting out of it and his own view on things. So anyway,
I don't even
But-
think he's the first. I
Is
just
it-
think,
But is it giving us?
well, in a while,
yeah, he's
because
just
of
relevant right now. He's a big
cancel
thing.
culture.
It's
Yeah,
it's
he
always
is
been
relevant.
somebody controversial. Like before him,
Well,
it was
let's
Andrew Tate.
pop
Before
this
that was
video
Alex Jones.
real
Before
quick,
that
right?
was,
Let's watch this video.
6ix9ine.
Oh,
Before that was.
I want to react to this video
Like,
that
we're in
Kyle
the
got
era
for
of
us.
Trolling. We're in the era of people understanding that any, like you said, any publicity is good publicity. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Kanye West.
But yeah, let's watch this. Let's watch your man.
So
This is
this
your,
one is what the Tim.
this is Tim Pool, right?
Yeah.
This is your
So
man.
basically what happened is he was on the Tim Pool podcast. They had him on. He was talking for a while.
Okay.
And then eventually he leaves the podcast, but this is what he says.
God is using me. He's breaking me down, removing all of the, richest person, all of this, so I can serve him. And the more and more those things are taken away from me, the more I can be empty and be a vessel and be able to be used. And right now, it's like, you're not going to take if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK because
I got you, brother.
Okay, so see right there how it's not really what you say, is how you say it. You know what I'm saying? And if you try to understand the context of what he's saying,
okay,
it's like, okay, that makes sense. I get it. He's saying that the Holocaust is just as real as what they were trying to do to him, and I feel like it's a little egotistical to compare yourself to the fucking Holocaust. But he's trying to give us the context of how sincere it makes him feel about how they were fucking him over. It was
Mike, bro.
Holocaust to him. I'm sorry, but yeah, I feel like that's how he feels. It makes him feel like that's how serious they were fucking him over, that it was serious enough to be the Holocaust type shit.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
It is egotistical to
It's
compare
egotistical.
I don't think he's talking about just himself. I think he's talking about the way they treat him.
Him.
Who look like him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
the
what I
color
think.
of his skin, his melatonin on his skin. Yeah, that's
Okay,
why.
hit play.
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm getting hosed down every day by the press, and financially I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. But I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you. Who
was they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because and because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Wait, pause it right here. Pause it.
So I wanted to just kind of chime in. Notice how you have this other dude, Nick Fuentes, white dude, how him and Kanye are already auto-synced. They're already thinking the same mindset. And the minute that he gives a rebuttal is the minute that he comes up and backs Kanye and everything else. So what is going on here? There's obviously talk behind the scenes about having the same narratives when they're going on these shows. And I think that is dangerous in a sense.
It is.
Just because Nick Fuentes is, and I'll show everybody. That was Nick Fuentes, dude. And he's been labeled, right, look, the media labeled him a white supremacist. I didn't necessarily understand or did not see it until I did some further investigation. And then I came across the videos I'm about to play you guys. And from my point of view, the media actually got that one right. The dude is.
He is.
And now he's flowing with, Kanye, and they have their own narratives on things, Jewish people and everything else. Yeah. So why did Kanye, though, link up with Nick Fuentes? Well, simple, because the people who are white supremacists, dude, they believe that Jewish people are evil and everything else.
Yeah, see, I think he's just hopping on the clout trade because Kanye West is a bigger name, and let me hop on this so I can, push it, have somebody in my corner or make it seem like
but isn't that what you're doing right now though?
What am I doing? Tell me.
You putting on him on, like co-signing for this.
What do you mean? What am I co-signing for, Christian? Be specific.
My whole thing is what's wrong? What's wrong with one being? We look at the word racist and we think of the negative connotation of it, but there is a positive connotation of it.
Positive,
and race simply just means seed. Okay, and it's the preservation of your seed.
Yep.
Protecting your seed.
Yep. Wait, race or racist?
The word race.
Okay,
and
so
even the word racist.
Okay. So I just want to.
Even the word racist could possibly mean protecting your seed and preserving your seed.
Preserving your seed.
I don't think there's anything wrong with. It's only becomes white supremacy to me when you start trying to attack and hurt other races.
And it's cause harm.
I get that's competition as well, and that's how some people play.
Okay.
But I think that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't think.
I get what you're saying.
You understand what I mean?
In the actual, the words of itself, they're two different words. Because racist and supremacy is two different things. Supremacy
two different things.
Is you're thinking that your race is the highest race and everything other is not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Race is more of like you're pertaining something to a race, or you particularly maybe not. Well, it's tricky because
Fuentes
stereotypes. Stereotypes could be racist.
Yeah.
And racist.
Well, there's always a level of biasm, but
Yeah, bias.
I think
There
there's always a level of prejudice and biasms. But when you get to that next plateau, like you said, where you try to be a supreme person because of the color of your skin, then it obviously draws in a lot of problems. So with this guy Fuentes, the reason why I have a problem with him now, because before I just thought of him as like a Trump supporter, he was a conservative. Now I have a fucking problem with him because when he gets on, I think 8 or 9 months ago, he was with Margia Taylor Greene, the senator from, I think it's Georgia, and he gets on there and he says things like, yeah, we need to go back to, our white Christian roots and stuff like that. And I'm not quoting him. I'm just saying he said things along the lines of that. I have a big fucking problem with that, bro. Like, I'm not going to, sit quiet. And I could be more libertarian, conservative, but when you go to that extent, bro, that brings up a lot of trauma, brings up a lot of the past, and it doesn't need to be had because we've already gotten past that. That's why we had civil rights, all that stuff. So I have a problem with it. However, I understand some of the things he's talking about, like getting back to more traditional values versus this whole narrative with wokeism and everything else. Sure, like we talked about last
identity
podcast.
a little bit. No?
Yeah, we do, and I agree. But I think when you get to when you start making quotes like that, it's questionable.
Well, let me ask you this: is it questionable because he said traditional white Christians, or is it because what do you what you think he's implying when he says that? Because if you think about it, there was some good Christians. Not every, some people. I'm pretty sure there's some white Christians out there, traditional white Christians that are probably really nice. You know what I'm saying? They're not really quote unquote racist or prejudiced. You know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying though.
My main thing is the Christian religion should not be grouped in the category of a race. Like the Christian religion is beyond race, dude. It's a belief and it's a faith.
It's a belief, faith,
right?
A faith,
so I think when you're including things like we need to get back to our, white Christianity or anything indicating of the things of the past that have been, brought forth through the white race, like the supremacy, all that stuff. I think that stirs up problems because you're using Christianity as an umbrella term, but then you're including things like race and you're including things in the past history that have caused a lot of, a lot of reckoning. And controversial things.
Do you think there's a positive and negative white Christian? You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's always an extremist with the group.
It's very extremist.
One part of the group that's willing to do the absolute most to make sure they're good, and then there's another group that's just simply trying to live by their values and codes and keep their essence,
like those like one of those SJW warriors, huh?
Yeah,
those SJW warriors.
What?
I don't like to be that either, dude. I'm not a SJW. I'm just saying that I see it from both sides, I guess, and I try to have my own, opinion about it. And I have a problem with this guy Nick Fuentes. And I don't like the fact that Kanye is rolling with him. That's what it comes down to. I just don't like that, bro, because I know what Nick Fuentes has said, and he can't take that back. It's out for everybody to see. And I don't respect that man for saying the things that he's had in previous conversations. And I especially don't like the fact that he's advocating to have a dictator, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. He wants an actual dictator because he believes that the country's being taken over by his own, opinions on immigration and all this stuff, which, there could be a conversation about that, but I don't think you can base everything around that. You're just using that as an argument and excuse to then bring about some kind of dictator that enforces all these, tyrannical laws.
His type of moral, or not morals, but his
moralism,
he wants to put in. I see what you're saying.
That's all it is. So I have a problem with that. And,
let me ask you this question though. Food for thought. What if Kanye West right now is just acting, let's just say, instead of acting logically, he's just acting off emotion. And he feels so hurt right now, you know what I'm saying, that it's just impulsive. He's so hurt right now that he's impulsive. He's speaking. You know how when you get mad, right?
Yeah.
You're having an argument, and sometimes you say shit that you don't really mean, but you just hot in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And you just heat it, so you just start splurring stuff. What if Kanye West is just in that, like you said, he's in a mental state right now. He's just really, really emotional. You know what I'm saying? And so he's saying anything just to get people to hear him because he feels like people are already writing him off, not listening to him. And think about that, right? As a man, a Kanye West statue, right? A man who was raised to believe in himself by his mama. His mom taught him to, stay 10 toes down on yourself, have an enormous confidence and self-confidence in oneself. Now he's hitting the big stage, and he's got himself to one of the highest, becoming one of the richest black men in the world. You know what I'm saying? Power gets to your head. What if right now the power is getting to his head, and now everybody's so quick to write him off? He can't handle this right. He's not able to cope with it right. So he's being radical. He's saying all these wild things based off of emotion of how he feels.
But does he realize that he's getting around now extremists? Because if I'm not trying to sound like a social justice warrior, but I can see the history now. 2017, bro, Charlottesville. Or was it 2017? Yeah, I think it was 2017, 2016, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, you had definitely people from the old clan come out, and you had the supremacists come out, in droves. And the people that Kanye is affiliating himself with are the very people that would get in a room with some of those people that would be completely fine. So I think you have to realize that there is a level of extremism that they're getting around, or that he's getting himself around. And could he put his own safety in danger if eventually he gets to a point where he doesn't do with what message they want? Because you got to realize he could be used as a ploy to facilitate their own messaging to continue to perpetuate among the masses, to continue that legacy, if you will. That's my problem with it.
Well, hold on 1 second, because you guys are making great points. However, I have a rebuttal.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like, one, we have a common enemy. One,
absolutely.
The technocracy, whatever you want to. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, I think they're trying to bring old America back. And you speak of Kanye being emotional. Maybe we should all be emotional, especially us, because
this climate,
I feel like. How would you feel if a group of people stripped your culture away and forcefully took everything you know about your culture, and then mocked you for it for centuries?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, I get what you're saying, and I'm not discrediting emotion.
Pass the fries over there.
Yeah, I'm not discrediting emotion, but let me ask you this, because that's a good question, and I hate to ask a question. I hate to answer a question with another question. But what if it's like, okay, let's say this, right? A good leader, right? To make a good leader, right? You gotta have somebody who understands that emotion is real. You need emotion, right? Emotion is a real feeling. You should have it. It drives you. But at the same time, you have to have logic. You know what I'm saying? And you can't. If you have one without the other, it's not gonna go well. You need logic and emotion. Now, if you're just acting straight off emotion, you're gonna make illogical things, irrational choices and decisions, and that might hurt you in the long run because you're not thinking off of logic. You're not thinking off of reason. You're thinking based off of emotions, and your emotions will change on a day-to-day basis. The way you feel, your feelings will change. Logic remains, because logic is like, okay, this is what this is. It's a certain thing, you know what I'm saying? So you have to have a balance of both, you know what I'm saying? You have to understand the emotion. You have to still be
I see what you're saying,
but you still need logic. You still, you know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing, like, say, right, if like, you slap me right now, nigga, emotionally, nigga, I'm gonna be pissed. I might feel some type of way, you know what I'm saying? But like, to understand you and respect you, and like, I'll be like, well, this is my brother. Why the fuck would this nigga just straight up slap me type shit? You know what I'm saying? I have to think logic now. I have to bring the logic into that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that.
You know what I mean? Because like, if I get up and get just based off emotion, then we gonna fight, nigga, and then we might have a falling out. You know what I'm saying?
How many times you need to get hit before you start fighting back? Martin Luther King said, let them slap you, turn the other cheek.
Turn the other cheek.
Bro, you gonna turn the other cheek when a random dude starts slapping you?
No, but I like.
Or you
Yeah, but
gonna
that was
whoop his ass?
but that was based off of his religious belief in
But think
Christianity.
about-
That's
but
not
think
something
about what
straight
happened
from
to Malcolm
Christianity.
X, though, because
But you
Malcolm
can
X-
speak on the same.
Malcolm X was like how you're saying. Don't
He-
keep slapping me, nigga. I'm gonna stand up and slap
As
you
you
back.
should, as a man.
And what happened to both of them?
They got taken out.
Bro, you're gonna die. You're gonna die for a cause. You're going
I'm
to
just
die
saying
for a
the
cause.
road that he's gonna go on, like he's gonna be taken out.
You're gonna be.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't think so. He's not saying enough. He's not a Malcolm X. He's not a Martin Luther King. I don't even know why you mentioned his name.
I don't even why you mentioned
not,
him.
he's not
It's a waste
even,
of time.
But what I would say is, I think he is thinking logically.
He is.
I think he's triggering people all over America emotionally. He's saying things to get you to see him. Now he's about to say I hope he's about to say a message. I don't know. I have no
Hopefully,
clue.
yeah.
Okay,
I
well,
have
But
no
his
clue.
his message, unfortunately, can be perceived by the other side of the aisle. That's more extreme and more right wing, as well as the extreme left wing coming out and trying to fight against the extreme right wing. So you have to understand that now our political climate in America has become super far left, super far right, and now you have Kanye in the middle of this, siding with the super far right. That's now going to ignite the far left, which, to be honest with you, I'm tired of those fucking commies, and I'm tired of all the bullshit, dude. We know racism is bad. We know everybody should have equal rights, abortions, whatever. I'm against abortion. I don't really like it. I think there could be other ways out, but I am pro-choice. And the reason being is because I believe in free will. I believe in free will. So I think women should be allowed to do that, but I don't believe that it should be portrayed that that's a constitutional right, because according to the letter of the law, there is no constitutional right for women having abortions, right? But I digress. Getting back to it, that's another thing.
That's another thing.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I'm not gonna,
I don't want to make it all. We can do that, or maybe if you want, you can piece that together. But I think though, when we look at it at its entirety, he's igniting one side to, kind of propel themselves into this next step, which is to bring back, like you said, I don't think it'll be all, but forms of old America.
Yeah.
And now you think that the left is just going to stand down? No, dude, they're going to be right on your fucking ass. I'm saying for the people who are maybe in between or don't want anything to do with politics, like myself, I don't really want to get into that spectrum anymore. I can speak on things, but I don't want to. I don't vote. I don't do any of that shit anymore. What the fuck is the point, dude? If elections are rigged, which I'm not saying they're not, or they are, but if they are, what the fuck is the point? These motherfuckers, like we said on the last episode, governments are bought and sold. So what is the point? But I think that, just to land my plane, he is igniting one side that's going to perpetuate the other side to come out and, like you said, have some kind of civil war. And do we fucking need that in the middle of these countries all over the world fighting each other, getting in strife, Putin, threatening to bring down nuclear missiles against the West? Yeah. I'm not saying that he would, but I don't know. I can't read this guy's mind. China taking over certain parts of the U.S. by buying up land. Like I said before, do we need this animosity in our media to only make ourselves look weaker against other nations that are looking at us saying, look at their economy, look at how much tension they have politically, look at everything around them, they're fucking crumbling. We don't even have to go attack them. We'll just drain them economically, and we'll make them look like frauds across other plateaus in the world at other world events like Davos and all these other elite meetings. We'll make them look like freaking idiots in front of everybody.
Well, I think so. We're already idiots. What are you guys talking about?
We have.
You got to clean house. You have to clean house. We have to draw a line in the sand. You got no. We need to make ourselves strong again. I'm with it. I feel like I think we should also. What's up? I think we should also build our own cliques, because I don't believe all the things that the right side believes in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think it's imperative for certain cultures to get their shit together.
Sure.
However, I do believe I'm rolling with them on this wave, particularly because.
But can you be a little bit more specific? What do you mean, like Kanye West wave? Or
he's talking about Nick Fuentes, all that. I mean,
that,
I don't rock with everything he says.
Same here. I don't rock
but
with it.
I get what you're saying.
I'm saying No, guys, I think it's an extreme time, and it's calls for extreme measures.
I get it. I get that point of view.
There needs to be a war.
Completely.
It's going to be a war.
So we can get right.
Because if we, in a sense, it's a necessary evil,
dude.
Like it's a necessary
as a
evil.
people.
Some of the things, in your opinion, I think personally, it's just to the point where, like, I don't want more people having mental illness, dude. Like
Same
that's
here,
my
dude.
belief, but I can't control that. I can't control that.
Stop that.
I
dude.
can't. But I think that when you put this in, though, when you have these extra things come out, it only worsens the situation. But it's a catch-22 because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's hard, man. It's hard. I can't argue.
Motherfuckers that look at you as the enemy as well.
Sure.
And then you lead the charge and they stab you in the fucking back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I'm gonna kill you here now.
Well,
This is what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say, is he thinking about this logically, or is he just going based off emotion?
Right.
Now I understand what you're saying. Like logically, yeah, he's intentionally knowing that he can spark up people or get a reaction out of people by doing the things that he's doing. But what is the motive for why he's doing that things that he's doing? What's the intention for why he's doing that? Is based off. I feel like it's based off of emotion. Because his feelings are hurt.
Trust it.
Because what happens when a man's feelings are hurt? What happened? What is that? I think it's in the book. I'm not sure, but I think what is it? A dangerous person is a hurt person.
Because they from all the rejection.
Who's been hurt. You know what I'm saying? And right now, Kanye West is hella hurt, and he's doing things that he normally, I feel like, wouldn't do. He's not in his right mind. You know what I'm saying?
How can you say that?
And then mental health, right? You said what is mental illness?
Mental health?
All right, so
I don't think none of you guys are mentally healthy. I'm gonna keep it real.
Well, look,
I don't think everybody. Everybody in this room is not healthy, bro.
Mental health all day. I don't think none of the people.
I think you're right. I agree with you. I feel like in this society,
we're in a madhouse.
We're it's only like that because of the tools that we have, like the media, everything that we're controlled. Like you got to think about it. 10 years ago, we didn't have all this access. The way that technology is moving, the way that society is moving, it's advancing at a rate that's higher than any other period of time in human humanity. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? It's overload. It's information overload. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how do you? It's like, okay, so like information overload, right? It's like I heard this one time, like a dude in a dojo, right? Like I think it was a Joe Rogan. Some guy explaining like, if you want to be a master at like one martial art, you know what I'm saying? You don't go around learning multiple martial arts. You know what I'm saying? You stick in one dojo, you master that, and you become perfect in that. You know what I'm saying? It's the same aspect in information overload. You know what I'm saying? If you're well, what I mean by that is like if you go to all these other gyms, like you say you do, let's just say different MMAs, right? If you do jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, if you do all three, you're taking away from one or the other when you're adding on to that. Mm-hmm. If you're just a boxer, you put all your energy into a boxer, you'll be a killer boxer. You know what I'm saying?
Master yourself.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So let's apply that. Let's add that to information, right? If you're getting information or a way to live so much, how can I explain this? Like, let's just say you're getting, there is no line in the sand on a guideline. You know what I'm saying? Because with all this information overload, all these TikToks, people are talking about trending things. Like a lot of people now won't even go to the doctors. You know what I'm saying? Like, but 10 years ago, going to the doctor was a normal thing. But now with all these trends, all this information, people saying that, oh, we got these home remedies, this and this and that, it's making people change mentally different. Yeah. You know, we can't keep.
Oh, that's a whole separate thing. The medical, that's bad. And that's a separate thing. The medical and the pharmaceutical.
Overload. You have to have a regulation. Though. What I'm saying is there has to be a regulation on something. Too much of anything is not that good. Yeah. Too much of anything is not. I
agree with that.
Some type of regulation. But now the real question is how can we find a way to regulate this properly while not anybody's getting taken
losing your mind?
Of?
To try to reduce
possible?
I think so.
Yes,
very possible
to regulate things where. But that's so.
Well, their regulation nowadays is to censor. That's a form of it, but that's a negative impact. What is a positive, reformation, or what is a positive regulation to that? I think, in my view of it, it's to not censor, to have more open source platforms,
open
and be able to have people speak their minds. However, there has to draw a line in the sand where if it gets too violent and one side is more extreme than the other, or they're both extreme, there needs to be a line where, okay, when you get violent, when you try to cause physical or some kind of verbal harm against somebody that's going to fuck with their mental health, then we have to kind of draw the line.
Scarcity, though, it boils down to scarcity, correct? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there will be no reason to fight if there was enough for everybody. But I feel like there is scarcity out here. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
Out here, man.
Well, let me say this though, to put on to what you were saying though, Kyle. Right? Let me ask you this though, because I feel like there should be regulations to a certain extent, right? Because now we're in a different game, right? Like before, it was just based off of, like I said, the media. You get most of your information from either radio shows, interviews, or the TV, right? Now we're at this age where information is at the tip of your fingertips, right?
Uh-huh.
So with all that information and it's not being regulated, think about how you can influence. The influences could get fucked up. For instance, right? If you have a kid, teenager boys, we all know how we was in teenager. When you see something on the fucking, if you come up to the understanding of new knowledge and something makes sense to you in that moment, you might go hard on that shit. Yeah. You might not think logically. You don't have the wisdom. Your frontal lobe is not fully developed. Yeah. You don't have the wisdom to sort things out and be like, okay, this is good, this is bad. That's, you know what I'm saying? At a young age, you don't have that ability to do that, right? So if we're just releasing things openly on the platform, that leaves room for motherfuckers, like you say, let's just say a supremacist, right? A white supremacist, right?
Yeah.
If we don't have a certain regulation to say, hey man, you can't be saying all these things, you know what I'm saying? This person, if we just let them say whatever the fuck they want, even if it's not hurtful, but even if it's wrong or right, if you get enough people backing you, that could be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You're influencing a whole bunch of kids, you know what I'm saying? And they think that that's right because of how they view you. You know what I'm saying? So say, for instance, like the rap game, right? People are influenced to be killers, shooters, drug dealers because of they look up to these people who have money and they see that that's a thing. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's great. But if there's no regulation to it, to be like, all right, well, there isn't actually. That's the funny thing. That's controversial because in the rap game, there isn't. They keep promoting that. They keep pushing that. And that's why we still have deaths.
Who's pushing it? Who's they?
Who are they?
Who's they? Who's they? Say it.
It goes back to the people.
What I'm saying?
No, I'm glad that you brought that up because I wanted to bring this up in
Who are
that
they?
video. I feel like I understand why Kanye West would have got up and walked away because he asked a very valid question. Who is they? You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to run away from that question, but he's the one who brought it up because he said they. I feel like, Tim put himself in that hole because he said, I side with you, and I feel like they have not been fair to you. They. And Kanye West asked him, who is they?
He couldn't say it.
Exactly. So I agree with you on that. It's like if you're going to point the finger, you got to know who you point the finger at.
That's all we saying, bro, baby. That's all we saying, man.
I'm flowing with you. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we have this. What's this one I'm going to be playing?
I'm flowing.
What's this one?
So this is... What is this? This one is the... Hold on. Yeah.
Okay, so...
They say that the semen of
okay, so hold on. Let's make a...
I'm gonna.
So who is this right here?
Okay, so just real quick, this is the interview with Kanye. This is originally the full interview on Infowars. They basically talk about everything under the sun, and then this is the one where he starts talking about the Jews and everything else.
Okay, so this is where he gets radical. Okay,
yeah,
so
I don't know. I think it's to the 20-minute mark, but we can just kind of, like I said, we'll give our kind of points of view and whatnot, and let the audience kind of hear what we have to say. And then they can also, if they haven't checked it out yet, hear what we have on the screen, so that way, you guys can view it yourself.
Engage with the community.
Yeah.
Comment. But be respectful. Freedom of speech. But be respectful.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, December 1st, 2022. I'm your host, Alex Jones, and in studio, Ye is our guest. He's going to be here, he says, for the next 3 hours or so. And also America First leader, and that is Nick Fuentes, Ollie Alexander, Owen Schroyer, and many others are also going to be coming through here today. And Ye has arrived in a new ensemble here with us, but I'll assure you it is Ye. Ye, thank you so much for coming to Austin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, where would you like to start? This first little 5-minute segment is just kind of a prelude to what's coming up. What do you want to cover here today?
Just God runs the world, and Jesus is the way and the life. And it's time to put Jesus first in the way that we run our businesses, the way we run our families, our businesses, and the way we run our country.
Wait, pause. Let's pause that right there. Because he brought up a good topic. I want to ask y'all this. Do y'all feel like we should, is he right? Should business mix with religion? Should politics mix with religion? Or should they stay separate?
Well, it's been like that for the longest time. Church versus state has always been out of government. I think personally, it should be based on running our government, but because we're such a diverse nation, that's never going to happen because different people are, Islam, Hindu, or some don't even have a religion. So I don't think you're ever going to get to a point where you can have Christian as like the one and only faith in America. I think, even though like it primarily has been for the longest time, I think that's now changing. But I think what these guys are going to try to do, like Kanye and this guy Nick Fuentes, because of their ideological beliefs, is they're going to try to force people to then submit themselves under that. And I think with that, that's a very negative light.
Okay, well, let me rephrase the question. Not just Christianity, but religion. Any type of religion. Do you think religion should be mixed in with business? Do you think religion should be mixed in with politics? Do you feel like religion, it doesn't matter what religion, but religion as an aspect, should it be mixed in with business, schools, all this, or should it be a separate thing? Should that be something that people do in their own personal lives? Should that be a personal thing, or should that be brought to the mass, to the public? Should it be business? Too different. Or whoever wants to speak on that.
I mean,
that question. Like, what do you
like? I think it's really just like in my perspective of looking at it, it's freedom to do whatever it is that individual wants to do. If you're shopping at a store like let's say Amazon, right? Amazon Fresh. Yeah. If Jeff Bezos wants to publicly talk about his own religious beliefs and have plaques and different things on the walls when you shop, that's technically his business. He can be free to express or practice any type of religion he wants. That's why we have the First Amendment in America. And
so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I got a great one. Go ahead. So with that being said, right? Because I understand that's different. Like if he's just putting up like quotes or whatever.
You can't really tell them if it's his business to take it down.
But
But
that's not separate. What I mean separate as in like, okay, well now the morals, right? So say for instance, right? Like I'm not agreeing to this, but I'm just saying, for instance, right? If he pertainingly stops, let's say, for just for an example, right? Because I can't think of anything that's real present, so this is just so to speak, right? Let's just say Amazon stops selling unisex wedding dresses, LGBT unisex wedding dresses, because of no. But because of he believes that it's against Christianity, so he's not going to sell unisex dresses on that thing. Now I feel like, do you feel like that at that point now religion should be separated from business, because you know what I'm saying? It should be more personal. Whatever people want to do in their personal life should be okay. And religion, if you want to be religious in your personal life, okay, but should it be pushed on the public? Like you have to make new rules based off of the religions.
Well,
and which religions would it be off of?
I think it would just affect your profit margins, but I think as a business owner, because of, at least in America, if he's just doing business in America and trade in America, then he can do it. Now, if we're talking other nation states that are more communist in nature, then I would say, he probably has to dial back some of those things. But if he's just doing trade here, he can technically do that if he wanted to. It's his business. But it would affect, again, those profit margins. Culturally, it would be looked at as a bad thing, because right now in culture, we're more open to the LGBTQT thoughts, and we're more open to that kind of, I don't want to call it the metaverse, but that kind of atmosphere, right? That kind of reality. So I think he wouldn't necessarily be illegally doing anything wrong, but it would not affect him in a positive light for money and for the culture of his business, as far as inclusivity and all the things that.
Dang, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me cut you off. I gotta use the bathroom.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, raw.
And all the things that we kind of have, today going on in our world and culture.
Yeah, I mean, well, my question is, what? Hold on, my bad. I fucking lost my train of thought. I just had that shit. What happens if your business? Damn, I forgot my fucking train of thought. God damn it.
It's all good.
I'm trying to get
it. Happens.
Sheesh.
I can go to the 20-minute mark, because that's where I think it starts kind of like getting up.
Vote, we talk about Jewish businessmen, and somehow that's a problem. You can't talk about groups when it's one but not the other. The other thing is that there is something baked into the cake in Judaism which affects how they're brokering these kinds of contracts with entertainers like Ye. If you look at the Talmud, which is a real Jewish holy book, or part of the holy book, there's the written Torah, which is the Hebrew Bible. There's the oral Torah, which was written down as the Mishnah and then interpreted in the Talmud. In the Talmud, it says that Jews have to treat Gentiles differently than they treat other Jews. There's all kinds of examples of this. They say that if a Jew indirectly kills a Gentile, there's nothing even wrong with that. There's nothing morally wrong with that. They say that for a Jew to have sex with a Gentile is comparable to bestiality. They say that the semen of a Gentile is like that of horses. They also say that you can't give a gift to a Gentile. A Jew is not permitted under the Talmud to give a gift to a Gentile. They're not permitted to charge each other interest, but they're encouraged to charge Gentiles interest.
What do they say about pedophilia?
They say that that's, in some cases, licit.
Well, I mean,
so you're telling me in their holy book, it says it's okay to be pedophiles as long as it's not another Jewish person?
That's something that came from Adam. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, let me just get this. Let me just get this out front. I believe in free speech, and that's why I want you to be here and be able to say whatever you want. I'm quite the historian from a lot of multifaceted views. So at a certain point, I'm going to give my nuanced views of this, because there are power structures, and there are mafias, and there are cliques, and there are groups, and there is certainly leftist Jews that call everybody Nazis they don't agree with. If you don't want open borders, or you don't want your guns taken, or you don't want to take a shot. The ADL had a meeting 2 weeks ago and said, Alex Jones is an agent of evil. He should be taken off the air. He's the devil because he doesn't want you to take 4 shots. And I'm like, what are you doing calling me anti-Semitic? I'm not against groups. I don't get into group politics.
Adam, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Alex.
Yes, sir.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
So you don't like Benjamin Netanyahu?
Dude, this is the Joker.
This is a Joker.
And that's the thing. Like, I can't, support that. I
can't
bringing something out like that, dude. You're making voices and shit. Yeah, he can technically do whatever he wants, but it's like, at that point, you're purposely calling them out. It's pretty intentional. So I would say, even if we could laugh because he does a funny voice, but I just think it's crazy how he flips the script and then, basically starts talking in the tonality that he is.
What was his joke there?
Well, because it's Netanyahu. That's the guy, the old prime minister's name of Israel. So Net, and then Yahoo, the chocolate milk drink.
Yeah.
That's supposed to symbolize his name.
You know what that means.
So he's basically, making fun of him with those 2 items and then making that funny, voice, that clown voice. So,
I mean, can you, after the information that Nick Fuentes gave, can you blame, can you align some of that? Like, they do treat us different. The Jews, they treat us like we're not.
Of course.
You know, there's no equality. They preach equality, but there's truly no equality. Can you align yourself with that?
There is a separation.
I mean, look, like that gets into the whole discussion and of like, oh, well, are the banks and everything, are they all Jewish banks? And like I said, I believe that the Jewish descendants, like the lineage does trace back to banking, but I'm not going to say it's 100% all. We have all 100%, you know, Jewish type of banks in the world. But as far as getting back to the morality aspect that they're trying to compare Christianity to Judaism, I mean, I haven't studied the Talmud or any of the Torah enough to give a conclusive answer to that.
Do you feel like they have some type of supremacy? We're just talking about white supremacy. Do you feel
I would say there is just a umbrella term for supremacy, but I believe Nick Fuentes, I believe in my opinion that he's inciting more of the white supremacy to come out. But I think there can be a form of black and white supremacy actually against a specific group of people that because you got to understand, like, I think part of Kanye's goal here is to tell the black community that, hey, the white supremacy, and this is my opinion, the white supremacists of the past, sure, they treated black people bad, but now they've changed, but they're still, he's still trying to point out that the Jews are the problem. So that has not changed. Maybe some of the racist views against black people that have happened in the past, that has now transcended and changed a bit physically, the physical aspect of it. But now he's trying to transition them into saying, hey, like, it's the Jewish media and it's the Jewish record labels and the lawyers and the finance people and the banks that are, you know, treating the black man poorly. I think he's trying to paint that picture like, hey, we've evolved from the racist side a bit, but the Jews are still enslaving us. You know, they're still putting a foot to our head, you know. I don't know. That's just my view.
The question is, are we willingly going into slavery? And also, I'm with you. Like, we're getting nowhere just blaming the Jews.
Yeah.
They set up the system.
They did.
So what?
It is what it is.
We got to do something about it.
I think we can positively change things. Like, I know I've talked to you in the past, like, if the theory is that the Jewish banks and the Jewish media and all this stuff is true, you know, I think if that narrative is out there, there can be more diverse without putting, you know, labels on people and stuff like that. There can be more transparency with opening up business and trade and doing the same things that maybe one side did better, you know, than other people that didn't get that opportunity. I think now, because of technology growing and booming and laws changing and people clearly nowadays, things are way more transparent and way more open to conversation than they were 10, 20 years ago. I think that we can eventually get to that stage. And I think because of technology, it's eliminating jobs like AI is going to start, you know, doing manufacturing, man, and like all this stuff. So I think, you know, we can get to that point where we can have more of those things. But I think them specifically targeting, like you said, the Jewish community or the Jewish descendants, I don't think it's going to get anywhere, you know?
I would say one thing, they are changing. I mean, I don't know if the people who run this thing are Jews, but I mean, it seems that way. And I feel like it is a fact that if they are affecting the economy with inflation, and they're getting rid of business for other people.
So you're specifically speaking to more so of the banking side, or you're talking all business?
Are they Jews? I'm not aware of that. I mean, that's what he's proclaiming.
Yeah. I mean, sure, like, because they talk about Hollywood and the banks. Sure, can there be some of them that exist? Yeah. I would say, in my opinion, that, yeah, there's definitely a portion of them that have monopolies over banks. But I don't think you can just say out and out that all of them are intrinsically evil. Like, I think there's always two sides to every story.
Very true.
But I will say that, yes, some of them have taken advantage of certain communities, and not just even putting the label on it. It's just their own indice as a bank or as an institution that holds wealth that happens to be religiously Jewish. Sure, they probably have negatively affected, other communities and enslaved them financially.
Definitely.
And for business and all that.
That's almost a fact for me.
Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say that they've been, all keen, but I can also argue that other countries, including the United States, that weren't all Jewish, have done things that have negatively affected other people. So definitely. I think you can make certain comparisons with certain things and then, form your own conclusions rather than just you center in only on this one group of people without looking at other things around it that got you in that situation. Exactly. If Kanye was about it and he didn't like the lawyers that he did when he signed those contracts, you go with a second opinion. If you think it's a Jewish lawyer, right, if that's your opinion, then go with an Iranian lawyer. Well, then go with a Chinese lawyer. Go with, an Italian lawyer. Go with somebody else. If you strongly believe that, there's always other options. But he continued to go down that path and select those same people from what he claims.
I feel like it's even bigger than that. I mean, when it comes to even the culture he's speaking to, which is the black people, I feel like they are highly controlling our leaders that we look up to.
Absolutely.
I feel like they're controlling our narrative. They're creating the culture for us. Knowing that we don't have a culture, they're taking advantage of disadvantaged people. I don't think that's right personally, but it's also our fault for continuing to look up at that realm in which they control. But I think he's also bringing light to a lot of things. I think he said a lot of great shit. You say he's emotional, but I think he's saying a lot of logical shit.
No, it's true.
All these figureheads that we look up to, even the conscious ones, and all of them are puppets. He said that. And I think he himself is a puppet, but he is saying something of truth. I don't know if he's breaking out of the mold that they created for him. However, I believe that he's telling you and informing people, all this shit is fake.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that goes back to that conversation.
Okay, well, that's why. Well, let me go back to Christian, because Christian keep asking me why I'm on this nigga's corner.
Why are you in his corner, bro?
Look right there.
He's a puppet still.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, Kanye West is the most influential when it talks about us being us, you just being you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kanye West was the first dude to make it normal, to normalize. Just be you. Don't care what other people think. Like, he actually, what's the word? Vulnerable. Kanye West was the first person to actually be vulnerable in the rap game. You know what I'm saying? Vulnerable.
You sure?
Vulnerable in the aspect of.
We don't have that no more.
No, listen, vulnerable in the aspect of, I'm gonna just give you how I'm real. You know what I'm saying? This is me. And I'm not putting it on a facade. You know what I'm saying? Because when Kanye West came into the game, when he was popping college dropout, everything, who was booming at that time? 50 Cent. One of the most gangster rapper. You know what I'm saying? Gangster rapper was a thing. And then you get this little prep boy not prep, but college boy, dropout prep boy that came out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I was bringing awareness to that. It's like, well, Kanye West has always been like that. Like, when he went up on stage and he walked up there to Taylor Swift in the middle of her award speech, which
that was
he
an
was
ad
saying,
for her.
What's that ad?
What?
That was an ad for her, bro.
A free ad.
No.
Free advertisement.
What happened to Taylor Swift after that?
Okay, yes.
She blew the fuck up.
Yes.
Blew it was an ad.
But look, that's what I'm saying though. That's why I'm trying to get y'all to realize that look at the patterns. Look at what Kanye West does. When Kanye West gets emotional, he bolts out. He just goes out. And regardless of whether it goes for good or goes for bad, you know what I'm saying? He's acting off that emotion, you know what I'm saying? Because he was right. What he was saying in that moment, he was bringing awareness to the fact that, like, these shits is rigged. These shits is rigged. How the fuck did Taylor Swift win Video of the Year when Beyonce had one of the best videos of all the single ladies?
Single ladies
is one of the best videos of all time.
Single ladies.
Like, I'm not saying it's the best video of all time. You hear me? But I'm saying for that year, in that moment,
I agree.
Influential. Okay. That was the best. Everybody was singing that. Oh, my single ladies. You can't tell me. That was everywhere. It was everywhere. And for that not to win over Taylor Swift just because of the hype or whatever, just because the game was a little black for a little while, and so this little little like, little country girl comes out. Even country was falling off. She brought country
brought pop back, country pop back.
Relevant.
Yeah.
Well, not to the people who are fans of country, but I'm talking about to like the regular pop. She brought country back into pop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so he was bringing awareness to that. Like, hey, yo, this shit is rigged. Like, Beyonce had one of the influential videos of all time. That's going to go on for years. Everybody's going to know, if you like it, then you better put a ring on it. Everybody's going to know that. That's not going to die.
My halos.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? And the that's going to live the time, you know what I'm saying? The test of time. That's
I'll be here another 20, 30, 50 years.
So Kanye West was real on that. Like, he got emotional, you know what I'm saying? But he was spitting real. He was spitting truth. He was being vulnerable. And he was expressing how he felt. And he was standing up for the black community.
I'm going to keep it real with you.
Now, I understand
you try to run your black ass on stage and say something.
What's gonna happen?
You're not gonna make it to the stage.
What's gonna happen?
You're not gonna make it to the stage.
But who did? Kanye West.
Bro,
Kanye West.
What I'm telling you is that was rigged. The Will Smith slap. That was rigged. You're not walking on the stage. You're not walking on the stage.
Okay. So wait, hold on. You're gonna have to break this down and make me believe that the Kanye West walking on the stage is rigged, because like you can't tell me. He was off the Hennessy. That man was drunk as hell.
That's even worse.
That's even worse. It's proving my point right there.
I think you're leaning too far on the conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy, bro. It's really
not.
Everybody wants to say it's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy.
Shall we continue?
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Before we continue, I just want to say this. So moving forward, you know what I'm saying?
The details. It's not a conspiracy.
Think about this though. Food for thought, right? Food for thought, right? You also understand that, like. To understand your opponents, right? You got to understand how they think, right?
Okay.
So if you have people who automatically you're quote unquote is a conspiracist, right? If you don't know the difference between what could be real and what is not real, you have no sense of reality.
Do you think that this is? Do you think celebrities and all that shit is reality, Zach?
Is it reality to you?
Yes and no.
Do you believe that record labels create good and bad for publicity stunts?
No, I'll tell you what's real. I'll tell you what I think is real. What I think is real is that there's people out there like you and I who look up and want to be famous, and they want to get to that level, right? And they're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that level, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're real people, and they're genuine, and they're about their talents, about what they have to sacrifice, with all the work that they put in to get to a position to express themselves, whether it be athletical with sports, whether it be artly, like through music, movies, acting, whatever it is, to get them to that point to express themselves. That's real. Now, what I also think is real too is that people willingly know that people want to follow their dreams, and they take that and they exploit that. Now that is also real, but I can't point the finger at the person who, you know what I'm saying, just wanted something so bad that was willing to give up everything, not knowing, because of the lack of knowledge and lack of understanding, that they're giving up themselves to get to a position that they get there. Because if you think about it, a lot of the people who are famous, what ends up happening to them once they get famous? The fame gets to them, and they end up getting fucked up. Look at Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's deeper than that.
Look at the Disney
kids. You think it's just drugs and fame?
Because you kind of lose yourself in a way in the process.
What I'm saying is that you go into this with a mindset of a mindset of a reality of what you think it is, right? But once you get to that level, once you cross that barrier, and then you start to actually realize that, oh shit, this is the shit that I'm in. I feel like a lot of people do regret going into that, but it's because of they're not aware of that realm and that situation. But I can't blame them for wanting to achieve that and go for the gold, and then getting there and realize that this shit has been rigged and you've been set up. You know what I'm saying? Just like the record industry, a lot of people want to get signed. That's the thing, you get signed. But then that's how they exploit it, because they know that you want to express yourself, you want to get famous. They're going to use your works, your talents, your culture, whatever it is, to get money off of you, to profit off you, because they know you. It's like it's a win-win,
vulture, bro.
You have a motive. I want to get rich and famous, and they have a motive. Well, I can get you rich and famous. I want to make money off of you.
And then that's why,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can't blame that person for wanting to, quote unquote, quote unquote, let's just say they wanted to exit the matrix. They didn't want to do a 9 to 5. They wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Is that lazy?
Is that lazy though?
It's no,
It's
because
not lazy.
It's not lazy.
It's not lazy because of you still have to put the work in. Like Kevin Hart says, everybody want to be rich and famous, don't want to put the work in. You still have to put some type of work in.
Put some energy in. Put some freaking energy into it.
How much work does he really put in?
But how much do you know about Drake? How much do you know about behind the scenes?
We don't
right?
see behind the
We don't
scenes.
see
Okay,
behind
so
I
the
how,
see Floyd
so,
Mayweather.
So how can I make it? All right, so let me. So this is
I see him working.
No, but this is my argument, right? So how can I say or give an opinion about how I feel Drake is or what he's doing if I don't know what the fuck that nigga does behind closed doors?
Isn't that a problem for you? Shouldn't you be looking at that dude with a side eye?
Yeah.
In what way? In what way?
Always.
Because
That dude doesn't seem genuine. He doesn't seem like he's a true hip hop. He doesn't seem like he seemed like he has a filter over him.
okay, but look,
Is it not?
Look, you have to understand that. I understand what you're saying because he's in a high platform and he's high stakes.
High stakes, baby.
But what is his reality? What realm is he in? What is his source of business? He's an entertainer.
Yeah, he's an
in the
entertainer, bro.
entertainment
Yeah, that's
business,
what he
right?
does.
And if you ask me, that motherfucker
He's
does a really
entertaining.
good job at his job because that motherfucker
Yeah.
entertains everybody. What is the meaning?
But
of
is he a
entertainment?
slave because he's signed to 10 different record labels? Is he a slave?
No,
That's a
Drake?
shitty deal.
If
That's
you
a shitty ass
if
deal,
you
bro.
ask
I would
me
never
if
take
Drake
that
is a
shit.
slave, well, to a certain
shitty deal.
point, because there's always going to be levels to something, right?
There's
There's
high- the
always gonna be
ceilings.
levels to something.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, is Drake a slave compared to fucking
Yeah, he is.
the baby?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That they're two different lanes. Drake almost owns a whole fucking city.
Oh, yeah.
Off of just his
I agree with
influence.
that, yeah.
Anything that Drake says becomes the culture. That's powerful. You know what I'm saying?
I think he was given that. This is what I'm saying.
was
You get
given
light.
Okay,
You
so-
can't get to that light without.
Okay, so let me-
Have you ever heard an independent artist?
So let me ask you
Name
this.
one independent artist you know.
So let me ask you this: why, what's his name? John Lucas. He's independent, but why choose Drake?
I had
Why?
never heard of him.
John
And
Lucas.
there's a reason why.
You know John Lucas. Don't
No, I
say
don't.
That. Yes, you do.
Bro, he's not on the big stage.
not a
you
big
need to be
stage.
doing
You
you
certain
know
things.
John
stage.
Lucas. You can't tell me
I
you
don't know. I would love to hear him. But
What?
like I said, bro, like I said,
See, like, you're
independent
surprised.
artist, I don't know of him.
Let's
You don't know-
continue.
Ask anybody.
Okay, hold on.
But-
hold on, because
Land
you
is
can't
playing.
tell me that you don't know John Lucas, the guy that sang the Will Smith song, the new of like Will. Okay, hold on.
He's trying to put you on, bro.
What about
on
the
that shit.
controversial song? What was that controversial song? When he made a
What?
video, and in the beginning of it, he was a white guy talking about
Wait,
Who is this again?
John Lucas.
John Lucas.
Oh, I don't even know who John Lucas is.
But he
man.
knows who Drake is.
You know
Bro,
who Drake
I'm
is? That's
telling
kind
you,
of
if I
funny
show you
though.
the song and the
Sounds
video,
like a
you know
country
who
guy.
John Lucas is.
Country singer
You know who
John
the
Lucas.
rapper.
I know John Lucas.
You know, yeah.
I know
No
John
matter how many
Lucas.
times you say his name,
I
don't
dude,
do.
Me, I got certain artists I listen to, and I stay like that for like 10
'Cause,
years.
like-
I know it sounds
Okay.
fucked up, but
Because everybody has a different taste of music in this culture, man.
No,
And,
but
like,
what I'm saying is,
but like, it's not gonna be your views and your perception of things might be different.
No, but what I'm saying is like, if that's the aspect, if these people are being chosen, right? Why are they being chosen over people like us? What is it about them that makes us different from us?
I don't think they're.
Machine.
They're a
I
machine,
mean,
bro.
I
Put them
don't
on.
think.
There's
I think
an
they become a
initiation
machine later, though.
feel
I
so
think.
you're telling me
I
that
don't
this
think
man,
so.
wait,
No,
hold on,
you
hold
don't
on.
think?
Degrassi wasn't Degrassi.
Wait, but look, you're telling me that
Yeah,
this
that's actually a good
Yeah,
point.
that's how he put him on because of
Come on,
Degrassi.
man, it's a camp.
bro, I'm sorry, but it's hard for me to believe.
Why? Because you're a fan. That's why.
No, because it's like, okay, but look, like
No, it's okay.
like,
You're a
no,
fan.
No. But like, you have to respect the art of what somebody is doing.
I understand. I'm
To
not saying
get to
it's
something,
art.
It's an art, right?
It's art, though.
Just like a sport, right? So like, when you guys tell me that Drake is just in that position because it was given to him, that's like you telling me that LeBron is in his position because
No.
it was given to him.
No.
So what's the difference? Why is it
When
that
it's easier
LeBron
to
puts
fake.
in work? You know what I'm saying? He takes care of his body. You know what I'm saying? And he's out here.
He spends a
putting up
lot of
these
money on
numbers.
his body for sure, man.
And why?
Every-
Why can't?
Point.
Yeah, he
why
does.
can't-
He does.
Why can't you give
But anyways.
Drake credit for at least being a businessman, getting like being smart, knowing
How much
what
business
people
when
know?
somebody's doing the business for you, Zach?
Yeah.
But see, but like that's easy for you to say, but you don't know though. You don't know what goes on
Zach, it's
behind
a
closed
fact that he
doors.
signed to 10 different labels.
Okay, but what I'm saying though is,
That's what we telling you.
did he sign those or did the label sign him up automatically?
they do business and they intertwine their business. But like I said,
like you said, numbers talks, right? Numbers talks. Money move when he goes with the businesses.
Okay, so right. Okay, so let me break it down for you, right? So right, if I'm going to sign somebody, right? No, look, listen to me. If I'm going to sign somebody, right? It's like I'm making a contract with you, right? That's because I'm making a deal with you. I want to sell some type of product, right? I want you to sell some type of product or whatever it is, or I like your product and I want to take your product and make money off of what you're doing, right?
But if
you sign a deal with somebody to take it's like with anything, like if you're gonna sell something online, you know what I'm saying? Or let's take that back, like
you don't have to sign on every deal, on every dotted red line.
No, but like that's the thing though. It's like once you get up to that level, then those deals start.
You just reject it, bro.
To you start making more money.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like if you have a product, right? Like let's say you're selling T-shirts, right? I fuck with your T-shirts. I like your T-shirts, but you're a small dude working out of your garage. You don't have enough to push yourself. You don't have enough to get your shit.
You don't have a warehouse and workers.
You don't have your shit enough to get your shit out of the ground, right?
Yeah.
You make a deal with me. I could be a businessman, and this is what these business people do. A lot of them.
Yeah. For the Shark Tank.
No, exactly. But business to understand business
is different. Yeah, money, the emotion.
A lot of the time off of other people, right? So you could say like you have more power, right? And just like in the Renaissance, right? Let's go way back. Da Vinci, right? Da Vinci. He's an artist. He's making all these inventions is art, right? But who's signing him? It's the family. The family is the one that has the resources. Okay. They have the money. They have everything, right? To push his shit to the next level. Now, not him knowing that the family might have crooked ties or whatever it is. They are taking what he's doing. He's living his dream. He's making his art, you know what I'm saying? And he's giving it to the world. He's beautiful, making beautiful 16 chapels and everything. The family was like, oh shit, look at this nigga. This nigga could possibly get bigger. It's a smart tactic though, but too, eliminate the opposition, eliminate the competition. You see somebody who's doing better or getting more, I'm gonna buy this nigga out. So now this nigga works for me. And so now I don't have to worry about that motherfucker taking money off my table because now I'm making money off that nigga.
And also, just like the business and religion thing that you're intertwining, yes, that's what they do, motherfucker. Now since I own you, you do what the fuck I say.
Okay.
You do what I say.
You do what
You're my employee. If not, you get fired. You get kicked down the fucking
stairs away.
Kicked down the trap.
Yeah. No,
you go to the garbage chute.
What they do to Kanye just now? And he's telling you.
They put him right down the chute.
But here's the difference, though, is that you have to understand that there's two sides to it. There's a business side to it, and then there's the art. There's the craft.
Tied together.
It's tied together.
Okay, it is tied together, but you can't. Like, that's what I'm saying. You can't, just because it's tied together, you can't just call it all business and not
everything's business, bro.
When things are mass produced, it's business. It's over.
It's just business.
Okay, but you need something to mass produce. You can't produce something, a product. You can't
we're not
mass
knocking
produce
that.
it, meaning that you can't push it out unless it's created. I have to give you something for you to push out. Right?
Who's Quentin Miller?
Who's Quentin Miller?
Yeah.
Quentin Miller.
Quentin Miller.
You remember Quentin Miller, the dude who wrote for Drake? We found out. Okay,
Ghostwriter.
That destroys your whole point.
Was he a ghostwriter?
Hold on.
He was a ghostwriter.
Yeah. And those hits.
I'm gonna put you on track to another point, right?
Okay.
Y'all probably don't know this, right?
What?
With the Drake, right?
Yeah.
And the album Take Care, right?
Weekend.
I love that.
It's the Weeknd's album.
It's the Weeknd's album.
It's the Weeknd's album that, what did Drake do? He took it and pushed it out for him, right? And they're both benefiting from that. Drake got a new album. Drake is at a higher level. He's at a higher, well-known, you know what I'm saying, higher cult level. Clout, not cult.
Very
clout.
True.
I'm sorry. Clout level, right?
Yes.
So it's like saying I would do the same thing, nigga. If I had work and I had music and Drake fuck with it, nigga, please take my shit. Please.
But he took it as his own. So what's real?
No. Okay, but look.
He claims it as his own album.
He did claim it as his own album, but not only that, but it still shed light on The Weeknd.
Yeah.
If he didn't take that album and give The Weeknd a chance, we wouldn't know about The Weeknd. Now, I'm not agreeing on how he decided to do the business side of it, because that's what I'm saying. It's business, and then there's the craft, and it's two separate things. So Drake realized, oh my God, this nigga his craft is wonderful. The Weeknd, his art, the work that he put into this, amazing. It's great. So let me put some business on that. I'm going to take that, make money off of it.
I don't think it went like that.
It went like that.
Because you're signed. You're signed. Hey, Daddy, can I sign this cool new artist named The Weeknd?
Come on, Dad.
You don't get to make moves, nigga. I control everything around you. You ever heard of a 360 deal? I get.
Do you know what a 360 do?
I get part of the advertisement. I get all that, baby.
Marketing.
Okay, so
It's
look,
me.
Marketing.
Yes,
Marketing.
to a normal person.
It's me.
To a normal person, yes, right? But Drake is the prodigy of who?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, yeah.
And what is Lil Wayne? The most influential
He's
rapper.
the grandfather.
He's very influential.
Yeah, but
one
I
of
would
the-
say, dude, the difference between Lil Wayne and Drake, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for in a rapper, because as we know, I mean, Lil Wayne is way more, dude, like hood and like, dude, yeah, and
Okay,
he's
but
more
no,
of a
no, but
lyricist.
in this aspect, right? So look, so listen to me, right? So
Drake's just poppy
so
and catchy,
Drake-
but,
Poppy, bro. He's
but
just
Lil
catchy,
Wayne
bro.
is an
Everybody loves
actual
it.
like lyrical
Artist.
genius.
He's
He's
an
an
artist.
artist,
I'm
in
not
my
gonna-
opinion.
I'm not gonna sit here and let y'all talk about
Lil Wayne, dude, is like one of my,
Drake is a
if not the
get it.
favorite rapper
Drake
of
is a
like
genius.
early
Why?
2000s.
But look, listen, that's besides the point. Let me
Okay.
get back
All
onto
right, my
the point. What I'm saying, right?
You
is
be out
that,
to
okay,
shit.
right? So think about it, right? Lil Wayne, how he got exploited, right, by Birdman for all those years, right? And Lil Wayne wasn't in it about the business. He was in it about the craft, right? And you could tell by his music how much work and how much dedication that man put into the music. And the business side of it, he was fucking railroaded by the business, by that company, right?
Yeah.
So, right? So after Lil Wayne understanding what it is that he came into, you know what I'm saying? And then bringing Drake into that, right? Now, so Drake is not only understanding that what the fuck happened to Lil Wayne and how he got fucked over on the deals, he's understanding the business part of it. Why can't it be that Drake is like, all right, I understand how Wayne got fucked over on this. I'm going to do these things a little different. I'm gonna play the game how it's supposed to be played, and I'm gonna set myself up where now I'm not a bitch to these corporations, and I'm still getting my money. Just because you're working with these corporations, I don't feel like he has no say so in anything. Because if that was the point, then there's no point to even have celebrities. There's no point to even have an influencer because
Oh God, Lord.
there's no need.
Why
for it,
do
you know
we
what I'm saying?
celebrate celebrities so
Why
much?
do we
my nigga?
idolize them?
I feel
Like-
like if we didn't, it wouldn't even got to this point. I think you could keep the
We
art.
celebrate
And
celebrities.
maybe we wouldn't have
And I'll
things
tell
like
you why.
Kanye going
I'll
up there
tell you
with
why.
a mask.
Business and art don't go together, bro.
But look, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why we celebrate celebrities. We've been celebrating celebrities for all
Decades.
mankind. No matter what civilization is, there's always a chief, a head elder, or somebody that is a human that is always celebrated. Only reason why it's different in this light is because of the society that we're in. Now, celebrities, like if you go out of the country, you go to a village, and you go to like one of the bush villages, right? A celebrity in that village is most likely the person with the most power. It's either the chief leader or the medicine person or the religious
He makes
person.
moves
right?
in the culture.
makes
Okay,
in
this
society.
doesn't matter. What you're asking is why is there celebrities? And there's always, and I'm saying my answer to that is there's always celebrities. No matter, that's just how humans are. They're gonna celebrate somebody who has a certain type of power.
That's influencing, but celebrity is a different type of word. I see what you're trying to do, but celebrity is a different type of word.
Okay, well, think about the definition of celebrity. What
that's
are we
a
doing?
great-
You're
that's a-
celebrating somebody, right?
Yeah.
You're
Do
bringing.
these individuals deserve to be celebrated? Though is the question.
Well, that's a question. Well,
Question of the
I can
year.
ask you this. I can ask you this. Should LeBron be celebrated for all the work that he puts out?
You can appreciate his
You can
work. I
appreciate it. Be
his work.
appreciate. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
so
That's the
so
difference.
let me tell you this, right? So should Michael Jordan
Influence.
hold on? Should
Influence.
Michael Jordan be celebrated for all the things that he's done for basketball? Should he be celebrated?
In that culture, fuck yes.
Fuck
I
yeah.
fuck with it.
I fuck with it. Yeah, MJs
So-
and
so
Jordans.
he should be. Why though? Why? Because of
'Cause his
what
shoes.
he did to the game. He changed the game. He showed you that hard work and determination, you could do anything. You know what I'm saying? He showed you that if you stick to your craft and you work hard, you know what I'm saying? You stay focused to one thing, you could be the fucking greatest, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That push, that was a positive note to us. So we should celebrate that. That's a good thing to have celebrities, because now if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, there would be no LeBron James. There would be no Kobe Bryant. There's no inspiration. There's a lack of inspiration. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with having celebrities, people to look up to, because it pushes the civilization, the people forward. It pushes y'all forward. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't be like mad that these guys are celebrities and that all celebrities are bad people.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
That's a really good point.
What I'm saying is, wait. That's not what I'm saying at all. Go ahead. Wait. Celebrities guide people to certain things. This is why there are celebrities. They guide people to certain. This is why Michael Jordan, everybody wants to be a basketball player. Okay. Kanye West, everybody wants to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask
is that the right way to do? Should every nigga be a fucking basketball player or a rapper? No. What do we need right now in this time?
But see, you can't blame.
Ooh, so that brings into the other question.
But listen. You can't blame Michael Jordan.
I'm not blaming him.
No. But hear me out.
You were gonna say
I'm blaming the person who made him a celebrity.
Okay, but look.
Because you see that's a sense of control. That they're trying to pull the strings.
Thank you.
Like, hey, because of you and your or race or whatever the case may be, we have a plan for you. We'll make you a lot of money, but we have to put you and position you in that situation, and we still have the control and the power to do so. That's why I know, like Colin Kaepernick, he kind of came out during the NFL and said, "Hey, I'm fucking done with this shit," because in his mind and in his opinion, which I have epiphanies with, but in my opinion, but he said, "Hey, from my point of view, this is the way that the NFL is treating me, and sure, I can make all these millions, but I feel like I'm controlled and I'm a slave still. Maybe I'm not being whipped. Maybe I'm not being physically done up. But at the same time, these guys control the narrative because they have money and power, and they put me. It's like a chessboard. You're the pawn, and they try to do checkmate on you every time.
That's what I'm saying.
But they try to give you candy every time to say, hey, no, here's
keep going.
That's why they pay him so much.
Here's this and that.
Listen, brothers. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Y'all literally, I don't think you understand the concept of what I'm saying. Why?
No, I get you.
The business and then the actual art is two different things.
Yeah.
Right? It's two different things, because they can't blow Michael Jordan up and make him a celebrity, quote unquote, and show him and push him out if he didn't have the talent. He had to have something to back him up, which is the work, the art, right?
Like Neo, he's the one.
So that's what I'm saying. You can't blame Michael Jordan. You can't blame these celebrities for loving. No. But listen to me, right? Yeah. You can't blame them for living their dreams and wanting to be the best of themselves, and just because somebody else wants to exploit that and they see money into that, we're gonna sign you, we're gonna make you shoes, we're gonna make you this. But if you ask Michael Jordan, when he went into the NBA, was his first plan to be like, I want to be the most famous motherfucker, I want to have the most money, I want to be the most paid person in NBA history or athletic sports history? No. No. If you ask Michael Jordan from his freshman year, what is it? I want to win a championship. I want to be the best.
He wants to be the greatest.
Exactly.
And the greatest comes with what?
But he didn't want to be. That doesn't necessarily
great
mean
power
that he
comes
has
great
to be
responsibility.
There was no money in it, Zach. Why the fuck would he want to go?
Whoa. Because
if there was no money in it, why would he want to become a basketball player?
Okay. Well, because
good point.
Check.
Okay, so look. No. I'll explain it to you, right? I can explain it to you, right? So, right, like just like anything in life, right? What do you want to do? What do you love? What do you like to do?
At first, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a basketball player, but that was because that dream was implanted into me.
Okay, but let's pause.
I was just about to say that.
No. Let's pause right there before you even realize that dream was implanted into you, right? What was your idea set when you saw basketball? What was it for you? It was a love for basketball, right?
Well, it was via my father.
Okay.
It was via my father, and he wanted me. He saw something that I could do, and he had a goal. We all had a goal.
Okay.
You're gonna go to this school. You're gonna go to this college. You're gonna go to the league, and you're gonna be first round. You know what I'm saying? And that was a dream. And the reason, and he always said, I want 10%. He knew there was money in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The money is the driver.
Okay, so my question was not what your dad thought about basketball. What did you think in that moment? Were you just like, okay, I want to play basketball just because of I want the love from my father, so I'm gonna do
I think as kids we're very impressionable. So when we see Michael Jordan on TV and he has all the bitches around him and he got the swag and he can go anywhere and people look at him. The girls want to be with him. The guys want to be him. We want that. So if that same thing, all those perks and shit were on something else, like a garbage man, everybody would want to be a garbage man.
Ooh, okay.
It don't matter. You can control society with the money.
Okay, let me give you
the money
and the status, not just the money.
Let me give you another example, right? Let's look at, for instance, let's say Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, right? Do you think that as a kid, as a child, you know what I'm saying, he didn't want to grow up just to be a scientist? His love of something that so much that drove him to want to actually invent things and create, have that mindset, because as humans, we want to create. We have that aspect to create something, to give something, right? So what I'm saying is like, you have to have. That's why I asked you, what do you love? What is something that you feel like you could do forever? Music, right? So say, for instance, right, you're making music only because of how much you love music. You're not making music because of what people might think about it or how much money you might make of it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. So it first starts out with that love. Same thing with Michael Jordan, right? I love basketball. That's my love. That's my pride and joy. You know my pride and joy. Something where he's willing to sacrifice everything when they went out to the clubs and everything and they partied. You know what I'm saying? If it was all about the money and that lifestyle, then why didn't he go out to the clubs and party with his teammates and everything? No, Michael Jordan didn't do that. He stayed in the gym. He stayed putting in work because of why? He had that heart. He had that love of the basketball, the passion, right? So that's what I'm saying. Art and business is two different things, right? It's mixed, right?
I totally agree.
His love for his art, his love for his craft got him into a position where motherfuckers with money understood that he's so great. You know what I'm saying? We can make money off of his greatness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so him just being a regular human being, understanding that, okay, now I'm doing what I love. And he's very fortunate because he's a person that's doing what he loves, but also gets paid for it. Yeah. Now, so if he's doing something that he loves and he's getting paid for it, the only reason why he got paid for the only reason why he's getting paid as much money as he does is because of how great he is, how much work how much time that he put into his craft to make him great. You know what I'm saying? Above everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's above the competition. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that had nothing to do. You think Michael Jordan said, I'm going to get better, I'm going to be above the competition just so I could be rich? No. If you ask me, I feel like it's a pride thing. I want to be the best because everybody wants to be a legend. Everybody wants to be engulfed, something to remember. When you're passed on, you want to be
how'd you lay your mark on this earth?
You want to leave a mark on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean.
We gotta land this plane because we're about 2 hours in and we got maybe 30 minutes left.
Oh shit! Okay.
Can I say one thing before?
Okay, go ahead. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's two different things. That the work and business is two different things. And when you collide the two, the business world is a fucked up, corrupted world. It's always about selfishness, and it's like how me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's me. And that's just the industry of that. And you put that on top of anything. It could be anything. Like you could love bacon, right? And what if your bacon and your pies taste the best, right? They taste the best, and somebody who has money comes along and be like, oh my God, these cakes, these pies taste so good. I can make money off of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take your name or whatever it is, attach it to my name because I already have something established. I already have a platform. I already have a backing.
I see you, my boy.
And I'm going to blow it up, and I'm going to make money off of you. And of course, a person who's doing that be like, oh, of course, I want you to take my shit because I want to make the money too. But it didn't start out like that. It started off with the love of the art, the love of the craft.
Yeah, the craft.
Well, with that, do you guys want to continue with these reactions, or do you just want to kind of
end it right?
Because I mean, everybody kind of knows like Kanye fucked up with those comments. there is those videos of Nick Fuentes I wanted to show, and then there is that parallel between the 2012 video that he had done the No Church in the Wild, and then a year later him talking about him not being relevant in 2023 but him being relevant in 2013.
Yeah,
so
let's do those.
Okay.
Yeah, let's bring up the Kanye West. So let's finish because we did get off on the sidetrack.
But I will say one thing while he's doing that. Do you understand that there's a reason why when these great people, celebrities, are getting interviewed, the first question is, who are your influences? Usually Michael Jordan said Magic Johnson was his influence. Larry Bird was his influence. And I have another question for you.
Bill Russell.
Do you also believe that if Michael Jackson took his talent and put it into a different field like cooking,
talking about music,
do you think he'll be the
basketball?
greatest cook ever?
No.
Why not?
Why? Because of like for instance, right? You have
his mind is different.
No. It's a gift, right? Not everybody can be a good singer. Not everybody can be a great basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is different. Whatever your gift is, you're gifted for a reason. That's why it's called a gift.
I don't know if I think that's intelligence and it can be put in different ways. Depending on the love of
how much you love something, how much you're willing. But say for instance, right? Because like let's just say there's two different people, right? There's a dude named Michael Jordan, and there's a dude named Jordan Michael, right? Now they both love basketball the same, right? But Michael Jordan might be better because giftedly he just might have better genetics. He might have something that gives him an edge over the person, but they still might love basketball the same. And they still have the same drive of wanting to be the best and still be.
You don't think everything boils down to the mental though?
Yeah, it does.
The mentality?
It does.
I feel like he just had that thing that just made him fucking great. He's saying, I'm not going to stop until I'm the fucking best that ever did whatever the fuck.
I feel like, but this is another thing. I feel like this is something that you would say too. I feel like every human has that. Human has
no, because Michael Jordan has a different mind. He showed it.
No. But
it wasn't just athleticism.
So let me say that. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Every human has the capability of doing that. The only difference is you have to put the work in.
That love, baby.
You have to put the work in for it, right? So every human has the capacity to be as great as anybody, but it's the work that you put into it.
I don't know.
We gotta land that plane because we got 2 bars left on the battery. All right, so this is Nick Fuentes. This is something that he just said real quick.
And so after 2020, I said, you know what? This just goes to show what we're up against. It reminds us that it really is us and Trump against everybody else. It's not us, the Republicans. It's not us, the conservatives. It's we, the people, the voters, the 74 million people that voted for Trump, and that's it. And then in the last 2 months, they said, oh, look, the polls flipped again. And now Republicans are back on top. Turns out it's not a big deal. Well, that was wrong. Because all the people that were charged up about abortion did early voting. So they weren't represented in the polls. So the abortion effect was felt just early. It wasn't felt on Election Day, but it was felt in the early voting. So that was a big L, and that sucks. But it is what it is. That's a pendulum, and you got to recognize the fact that this is a godless country. I hate it. It's immoral, it's wrong, it's heinous, it's evil, but this is an evil country. And this country will surprise you with how evil it is. And that's why you got to get this out of your head that there is some silent majority cavalry that's going to come out of the woods and save us at the last minute. It's not. When we meet the left on the battlefield and they outnumber us like 5-1, that's it. People think we're going to start getting cut down, and then at the last minute they're going to blow the Volkish horn, and the silent majority is going to come running in from the flanks on horses, and they're just going to start cutting up. It's not going to happen because we are in the minority. There are not as many of us as there are of them. If they all had to vote, if you forced every man and woman in America to vote, there would be more of them than us by a lot. That's why they win the popular vote. That's why they win the House. That's why it is the way it is. And I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but there is simply no evidence that there is a silent majority. There is no evidence of this. There are too many non-white people in the country, frankly, for that to be the case. The country's 40% non-white, and like 80% of them are liberal. Okay?
Great point.
He's making his great
and out of
points.
the white people,
but dude,
it's like
I know we're
60-40.
crunched on time, but just because a lot of the people here just because they're not white doesn't mean that they're not American and they don't have patriotistic thoughts.
Right.
A lot of people who come from no, but listen though, because what he's saying is that the only reason why it's getting pushed out, it's getting watered down because there's not enough whites in America. And what he's saying is that if you're not white, you're not voting right, you're voting left. That's what he's pretty much saying. And I could tell you for sure that I know some people from Hispanic descent or a lot of other races that are very, very right wing, my boy.
Really?
Very right wing. It doesn't have to do with the race, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. They're very right wing because of the mentality that they have. They feel like once they get to America, they're better than a lot of people. They're better than this, they're better than that, and they stay patriotic. So I feel like when he's saying right there on that, like some of that is true, but not all of it though. What do you have to say though, Ray? Go ahead.
Bro, the left side is bringing in. They're opening up the floodgates, the borders, and they're bringing in a specific group of people, who he's really talking about. He doesn't want to say it. He doesn't want to say it.
What he should have said was ignorant people, not the racist people.
No, he's talking about a specific thing. He's talking about
a thing.
The Democrats are bringing in a specific group of people, and they're giving them benefits, and of course they're going to vote Democrat. Every single time.
Every time in that ballot.
I'm going to continue to vote.
But what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to keep it like balanced and saying that it just because it's not a race thing. And he's making it seem like it's a race thing. But what I'm saying is that you're right, though. The left people are getting people who are, uneducated. You're getting people who are ignorant because then they realize that like, oh yeah, I could throw these free things at you, but you don't really even know what it means. You don't even know what it means to have to do these things. All I have to do is sell the idea to you. What he's talking about is pretty much, it could just be consumers. You know what I'm saying? The left could just be selling to consumers, to the consumer mindset.
I don't buy it. I mean, when you directly say there's not enough white Americans anymore, I just kind of take that as what it sounds like. Like, dude, everybody can be an American and can be a patriot, and you don't have to deliberately like introduce race. He's doing no different. He's doing no different than what the left does, which is constantly talk about race. But now he's doing on the right.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, if you just cared about the country,
play the game though, no.
Well, you do,
if they're playing that dirty game, we gotta play
the game.
Okay,
yeah, but I don't think. I mean, dude, I don't want to live. Personally, I don't want to live in old America again. I think we should still have American values like we have, and we should grow businesses and do all that. But I don't want to live under that, that suppression, dude. Like, and I'm white, and I'm speaking from that point of view, right? I don't want to live and see that. I don't want to be around to see that. And I think with his views, because he later goes on and says we need a dictator. I believe it's this video because there's two of them. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. He's doing no different than what the left does because the left inwardly wants some kind of autocracy, even though they preach about democracy, which is bullshit. Democracy is autocracy. Autocracy is democracy. They're fucking one and the same. Right? Because the thing, dude, I think one of you guys said earlier, or no, I think it was you, Red. Oh, well, I'm going to pander to the illegal immigrants, so to speak, because then I can make them do what I want. Yeah. That's a fucking dictator. You're controlling what they can and cannot do. So that's why democracy is a lie. There is no democracy. It's always been autocracy. We just hide under that umbrella that somehow we're free because we have freedom of speech and like all these things. But freedom of speech becomes not apparent anymore once you start making threatening remarks.
Well,
right?
To a certain extent, because we still do have freedom to
we have better freedoms in other countries, don't get me wrong.
But the only difference is that it's what they're doing is it's a manipulation tactic, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, how can you control somebody without them knowing that they're being controlled? You give them you feed them information so that the only way that they can think, they can come up to conclusion about something. How can I? Okay, let me start it over. Like, what I'm saying is, my point is that like, to control somebody, manipulation starts with like, you can control somebody, but without them knowing that they're being controlled, right? For
Right.
instance, right? So I can
Brainwash.
brainwash. I can subliminally send you these message, and if you feel like that you came up with that own opinion and that own ideology on your own, you're more likely to stand up and believe in that, and that's what they're taking advantage of. So you do have a choice, but people are not actually putting in the work. Right? They just want to be spoon-fed information, and when you're being spoon-fed information and you don't
Differentiate
the difference, and you like filter out, okay, well, does this weigh up, and what they're saying is real? Like, if you don't actually put the work in and you're just taking it at face value, right? You don't look deep into it, you're just taking it for face value. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to control you, right? So like, say, it's easy because it's on the media, right? So a lot of the time, like, regular folk, right, they wake up in the morning, first thing they do is turn on the TV, they turn on the news, whatever, and they're not really like paying attention to what's actually being said
going on, yeah.
or what's actually going on, right? They're just getting the information that they want to know, so that way when they go back to the office or whatever it is, they have something to talk about with their colleagues, something to be addressed or whatever, so they can stay relevant. But a lot of them don't sit down and actually have these conversations, you know what I'm saying? They let somebody else choose the narrative for them, and they just run with that based off of a backing. Like say for instance, right, I like Kanye West, right, but I don't agree with everything that Kanye West is saying, right, because I'm logically listening to him and I can actually make that differentiation and be like, okay, this nigga, he's going outlandish. But the difference is that if I didn't do that and I was just straight strong Harley on Kanye West, you see how damaging that would be? Because then it's like, well, I'm not doing the work and actually like listening to what he's doing and making the correlation and being like, okay, well, what he's saying right here is reckless and what he's not. I'm just be like, oh, that's Kanye West, I'm a fan, so whatever he says, I gotta back it. And a lot of people do that. They don't actually like take the time and dissect whatever it is that the person that they like is saying or doing. Exactly. They just fucking go off the, all right, well, if he said it, it must be true. If it's coming from Fox News, it must be true. And I'm not going to challenge it. I'm not going to push anything to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the same thing what this guy's doing right now. What he's doing is the same thing that the left does, right?
Yeah.
They get you based off emotion. They get your emotion riled up, right? They get you feeling some type of way about a subject, right? So you're like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Like, people might agree with some of the things that he's saying, but you're not going to agree with all of the things that he's saying, right? You're not going to agree with all of the saying. You can make that differential. But if he's on the right ring, that's why it shouldn't be about left ring or right ring. If anything, everybody should just be independent. You know what I'm saying? And make up your choices. Be like, okay, I see what the left is bringing. I see what the right is bringing. Let's come together and see how we can make.
That's how it should be, but it just doesn't.
That. It's always.
It's become.
It's like a tribalism.
Yeah, it's become way different
now.
now. It's too extreme.
This is my team, and I'm standing in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody stays loyal, and loyalty can sometimes be dangerous.
I agree. Speaking on you said. You don't want to go back to old America, but I feel like he's really referring to when we were competitive.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I don't think he's really referring to the race thing. I mean, he is bringing up race, and I'm like,
I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what he meant, and then that's just what I interpreted. That could be true, but it's just a fact of like
you did though. I'm sorry, Kyle, but I interpreted the way you did. It's
how you
like, bro,
it.
like the thing is like the left is always introducing race with everything is white supremacy. But this guy is now saying we need to come back to a situation where, you know, white America is now existent again on the map.
Make America great again type shit.
Yeah, so I mean, and that slogan, like that whole thing with Trump, like I like some of Trump's policies, but I don't buy any of his bullshit, dude. Like that guy's in bed with all the elites and all the people at the top.
I agree. But do you feel like under his reign, I mean,
way better than what we have now? No, absolutely. 100%, 125%,
like
dude.
We're allowed to make money.
Yeah, no. Absolutely, I agree. I wish that we had that. I wish that's why I wanted DeSantis to win, because he's more toned down and he's pro-business and all that. But again, we didn't get granted that. Now it seems like going into the primaries and in the next year or two, it's going to be, you know, Trump versus whatever other conservative that steps to him, and then whatever Democrat.
This is the funny thing to me is that, like, if that was such a problem, how did y'all let Trump get thus far? How did you let that man?
Oh,
get
he could
that
buy. He could
far?
back himself. He had his own money.
But no. But it still takes amount of votes because you still have to go through the primaries. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through you have to win.
No,
votes
you're right.
To get
I see what you're saying.
To get to that level,
You're
to
right.
even get to the
He's still a
president.
puppy.
So
I mean,
how
does
the
it though?
fuck-
Does it? Do you really believe that?
What do you mean? Like, do I believe?
Do you really believe that he has to go through the primaries, he has to go through XYZ, or do you believe, just like I said earlier, governments are bought and sold? Because if that's the case, now we have a contradiction, right?
Okay.
Because, my man, like, we have a situation where, well, if what Tate is saying is true, in other nation states, for instance, Brazil, look at what's going on right there right now.
No, actually, I'm sorry. I don't
Well, with Brazil, they elected some guy that's a pro-lefty, but everybody's like, no, dude, there's no way that he won. And they're saying they have all the facts that it's proved to be that he falsified the election, that it was rigged, indeed.
Okay.
So if other nation states, and Brazil's just an example, are already having those situations, what makes you think that America is any different?
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I see
So
you're
what
saying.
I'm saying is that if we still believe in this democracy, this voting shit, this and that, but yet there's another narrative that's saying that, elections could be rigged, could be falsified, you have two different truths with one of them being a lie. Two truths can never exist. There can only be one truth, and people don't understand this. So if we have a situation where other governments have been bought and sold, we could probably argue the same thing for America at some point in time that this has happened. And I think that the voting and all that shit that you just said, in my opinion, is a lie. And simply because I think that certain people are picked, certain presidents are picked over the other for, again, political interests, but also the people that are above them that have all the capital controls over everything want because it aligns with their ideology.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because that was a good point. So let me ask you this, because then I like that. Now you got my brain working. Now you got my shit flowing. So now, with that being said, right?
I don't think we're going to get to the other reactions, but it's fine. We'll just end it with all this, the last 15 minutes.
We'll make a part two.
Yeah, part two.
We can make a part two, yeah.
But, okay, so with that being said, right, the ideology, like Andrew Tate, like if it's the businesses,
Governments are bought and sold, yeah.
Bought and sold, and all the money, it's a money aspect, right? So it's like, well, why is it that now all of a sudden Donald Trump was able to get into that position? Anytime before, you had to be usually a politician. You usually had to be in the politician.
How do you
field
not know that
to get there.
motherfucker sold us to China? It's awful funny how
Donald Trump?
Yeah, it's awful funny how every fucking conversation you talk about, it's China this, China that. Usually when people are guilty about something and they constantly preach, they basically say this is the enemy and I'm right. Usually it's the opposite. They're wrong, but the enemy is actually the right one.
Okay, so
right?
are you
or maybe not the
implying-
enemy or not portrayed that way, but
Are you implying that?
I can't prove it. This is all in theory. Again,
It's a
you
theory,
can call
bro.
it conspiracy theory, whatever. But again, how do you not know that motherfucker didn't sell us out, right, to the Chinese, and he gave them free range to come over and buy whatever land, that they wanted, right?
Yeah.
So, and I know this is like getting off the topic, but because of Kanye, but Kanye is also in Trump's corner, or was until that dinner happened, right? But that's why I'm saying we don't even know. Like we so believe that like Trump, if you're on the right, is such this great guy. Like a majority of people still today, 74 million Americans voted for him, right? Supposedly, we think that this guy is so true to his form and this and that. Yet this is the very guy that in the early 2000s said he was pro-choice. This is the very guy that has had bankruptcies after bankruptcies. All this shit. Which in business you're going to go through that. That's normal, but to act like he's so high and mighty and that he's doing the country a favor, I think is a farce, because I think even before Trump, the country was already being bought off and sold to another country that wanted to buy.
Okay, so but that's what
Obama didn't do.
No, but
Well, I think it even spans back to Reagan. I think things started changing after him, and I think, well, actually, I would say it really started to perpetuate with Richard Nixon. I think even spanning back to the 70s, that's where things went. And then with FDR and all that in the 30s, but it really started taking way, I think, in the 70s when we transitioned into new currency. So, but what I'm saying is that, again, with everything said and done, we don't really know if Trump is a good guy or a bad guy. We don't, dude. And that's why it's very naive and very ignorant for people to inwardly go to his rallies and trust him 100% when this motherfucker right here could be the very guy that sold our shit to China, that sold our land and everything. Because here's the thing. There was a guy that I actually worked with a while back, and he made a good point. He was more on the left, kind of in the middle, but he made a good point, and I listened to him. And he said, you know, when Trump put all those sanctions and all those, they had those trade wars back in 2018. So when they got the tariffs, which are taxation on products being exported over here that we buy from China, China loved the tariffs because all they did is they used the Philippines or another country over's port. As long as they don't use their own port, they don't get the taxes legally. But if they use somebody else's port, it goes on to that country's taxation. Okay. And because these other smaller countries like Vietnam, Philippines, Taiwan, all these other countries are parts of the country, like in Asia, like, dude, they have no governments, or if they do, they're very poor. They usually all peg off of, you know, something like China that has the biggest government in pretty much all of Asia. So they could easily just have those exported out of countries like that. China doesn't get the tax, but then it hits us. We tax ourselves because they don't use their own ports, so who gets the fucking tax?
We do. Yeah. Okay, but see, my bad. So my question was, though, is that
who's going to regulate it when China's in charge of another country that's small and they don't have any government?
Right there. Well, who regulates the tax is what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on. My bad. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too far off of what I was saying about Donald Trump, though. Donald Trump, like, so what I'm saying is like, my question is that how I understand, like, okay, he might not be great, and I understand, but how the fuck did he get to that position? How the fuck did a non-politician, a businessman who's not, quote unquote, known to be very politically informed, right? He doesn't really know much about the politics in the state. But how does a businessman of that stature, understanding that yes, he does have money, he makes money
because he's a businessman.
He's a businessman
because he speaks to. So like in his business, right? Like Trump Towers, and I don't know everything that he fucking does with that whole industry he has. I know he does like real estate and all that, but you got to realize too that, I mean, the guy's like worth like a few $1 billion. Clearly, he's talked to people overseas in other business and trade that have ties with governments, right? So in my mind, or at least in my opinion, with him being able to conversate with some of these people overseas, there could have been talks in the works of him, you know, becoming president, or at least wanting to do it, like way back then. Like, dude, there's interviews on Oprah Winfrey where she asks him and says, I think back in the 80s or 90s, like, hey, Trump, would you ever consider it? And he's like, you know, I wouldn't, but if it got so bad, I probably would. Mm-hmm. So that thought was already there. Now, could you argue that he was just saying that off the cuff? Sure. But could there have been a previous conversation before that interview that took place with another nation? Right?
So are you implying that other exterior forces outside of the country have control of our
Yes,
politics?
They can.
Okay,
and we also have a sense of control over their politics as well, believe it or not. Okay, so not as much anymore, but we used to, because that's why we had all these wars. That's why we had all these tariffs, all these sanctions, all this stuff. Yeah. It causes political animosity in another country to go sanction another country. Or, for instance, when we took SWIFT, and that was mainly a ploy from the United States to take Russia off the SWIFT banking system, right? Okay. To help. So this all can be stirred in a pot where we have both countries kind of feud with each other, but other countries, I think, in my opinion, have the upper hand because we kind of sold ourselves short with everything that we've done in this country, from the political tension to the arguments to the wars we've caused to everything, right? Okay. Sort of. But yeah, so that's why it goes back to the argument that governments are bought and sold to other governments or to other countries that have good amounts of wealth. One of them being China, one of them being Japan. I think China is the second leading country in the world that has the strongest GDP, or did. I don't know how it is today. And then we were number one, apparently. Yeah. But yeah, that's why it goes back to that governments are bought and sold, simply because you have people like a Trump that are conversating with these people externally, like you said, that do business and trade and that have ties with the CCP or other forms of government. Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad.
I just want to simplify what you're saying real quick.
Yeah,
just
simplify,
for the audience,
please.
So just in case they didn't catch they didn't catch what you're saying. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
So are you saying that the influence, like China possibly had the influence to get this man in office, right? And then once he was in office, to have him talk down about China, whatever it may be, whatever
to make it appear that he was for Americans, but inwardly he already did deals with them and the back door. Because he probably got a cut. He probably got a cut of whatever profits that America, or not America, whatever we bought the product for in China and then resold it on the market. Mm-hmm. He probably got some kind of inside thing that's off the books, something like that. Dude, this is all business.
America
man.
is a business. It's not anyways. If we're bought, right, and some other entity runs this whole thing, and they run the politicians, and I believe it's planned, right?
Yeah.
Who's to say that they're not creating the divide through splitting us, through having a figurehead over here and having a figurehead over here, and having people. So we're just we're talking ourselves into fucking circles, while somebody else is implementing and bringing on a new reign.
Right.
And we're just fighting and dividing ourselves.
And what they have to do is they have to implement that. And there would be another thing, a point of view, is that they have to make it look like we have a government in place that cares about so-called democracy. They have to have voting. Now, look, all that stuff existed beforehand. It was true. It changed, though, within the last century, and it especially has changed since 9/11. That shit is... Again, and it could have been going on before 9/11, but I would say for the past 20 years, shit has been going on like this, and it got worse when Trump got in. How do I know that? Because look at the fucking world today, dude. I mean, it speaks volumes, bro.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question because it's food for thought. Do you feel like it could have possibly gotten worse just because of how publicly... kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? You think it could have got worse based off of just because of how Donald Trump acted, the way that he said things, the way he was controversial, the way he brought up topics? If he was a regular politician, do you think that he would have blew up the way he did? Or
I think all
people got mad and upset because of a person who's very opinionated, like he was in politics.
I think all opinions, bro,
abiding by the politic rules. You know, he wasn't being like tiptoed around certain things. Like he came to mind.
But the thing is, even the ones that are in tip-top shape, we only want them in office so that way they present it.
But it keeps
it's the presentation,
illusion, that illusion. So did Donald Trump did he remove the veil? Did he take the veil and let you see?
Well, that's kind of the argument. I mean,
between
the politics, I would say parts of it, sure, but I would say the way that he did shit, no. Okay. Because he so-called boomed the economy, but some of the shit that he did is now bleeding over into today. So like banks over leveraging, doing reverse repos where banks are taking money out and then spending it on assets because they know that our currency is in dire straits. And now he did argue in 2016 that the currency problem, it's bad. And I'm not blaming Trump for that whole situation during COVID, but I'm just saying that he has differences than other politicians, but he's just as wickedly corrupt as any of the ones that we prior elected, if not worse, because politicians don't have as many business ties because they don't own businesses. They go to school for political science. Like Trump, this guy went to school, or I don't even think he went to school for business. He's been doing business, dude, since like his, I think like early 20s or 30s. This guy's been in the game a long time, since the 80s. So this guy clearly, since the fucking 80s, knew people externally on the outside to be able to control the certain things that are going on today in America.
I also think he was groomed. I think these people are playing roles. Fucking Obama had a voice coach. He got a lot of the way he talks and his feng shui from an actor. These guys, bro, this shit is a puppet show. Bro.
Let me ask you this question though.
Last question, because then we gotta end it.
Do you feel like the only reason why people voted for Donald Trump mostly is because they didn't want to vote for Hillary? And the only reason why is that they were chose the lesser of two evils.
But do you think the people chose him?
The people.
Do you think the people chose him, honestly?
Well, when I say chose, I mean vote. As far as the vote wise, because and you can say, we can argue about if the votes are real or whatever, but it was enough to convey people that they don't want Hillary. You know what I'm saying? So was it because if it was somebody else like Bernie Sanders or somebody else, and I want to know how the hell did Hillary beat Bernie Sanders?
We're gonna have to do a part 2, and that's gonna be in the next episode. We appreciate you for tuning in today on
Thank you.
Refine Podcast.
Wait, answer this question though. First.
If you guys enjoyed this content and you stayed all the way to the end, please drop a like and a comment. We will see you guys back next week.
This a meme, bro, right here.
And we appreciate everybody that comes on, especially the people that know us personally, and anybody out there that we haven't met yet. We want to connect with you. Feel free to follow us on our Instagram. All that information is in the description below. And you can also stream this content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. And we will be back next week with another episode. Peace.
Yeah,
Peace.
Please like, comment, share,
and subscribe on YouTube.
And please
push the post notifications bell.
Yeah.
Let's get it, baby.
Want to?
And please,
next time we go live.
If you have any type of things that you want us to touch on, or you feel like you have an opinion on something that we might said, or you think that what your opinion might be different,
feedback.
Please
feedback.
Write it down in the feedback. We love to talk
about it.
We like
to hear the
We want
feedback
to provoke conversations, and we want to provoke like thought and talk. We want to bring that back to this society, to be able to sit down, and even if we don't agree on something, we can still talk it out and get the idea across, and just be connected more like that. And I feel like if we could do that, it'll be a better place. So go ahead and just drop us a little comment or anything, or what you might think, or what you might want to say, or anything. We'll appreciate it, and we might put it in our next video. So all right, y'all. Appreciate it.